back here once again at Brit and Jacob the Movies. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Britton.
Alright, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about a Steven Spielberg film, yet again.
Steven Spielberg classic.
Yes. We are going to be, the first one we covered, our first Spielberg film we covered was Minority Report, but now we're going to be talking about, as Britton said, an all-time bona fide classic, E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. But we are not alone because we got our unofficial third member back on here yet again, Carlton Bacon. Carlton, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. What's going on?
Going pretty well. Going pretty good. So, yes, we are going to be talking about E.T. I'm very excited for this one because, as Britton and Carlton know, I saw this in theaters because they released it in honor of his 40th anniversary, and the experience was truly magical. No pun intended.
I did not see it in theaters, but I do own the movie, and I rewatched it yesterday. I'll admit, I was kind of worried because I have not seen this film in forever, and I have not had that DVD out in forever. So I was afraid the DVD was going to be broken. No, it worked fine. It's, we're good, guys.
I hadn't seen it in like 15 years, so I had to quickly go online and look it up and rewatch it as fast as I could. I remembered a good chunk of it, which helped, but I was like, let me go see.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since I was like 7. I only remember like the most memorable parts, like penis breath and all that. But this was essentially my first time seeing E.T. in like years, and I love this movie. It's my third favorite Spielberg film. But you guys, what are your thoughts on E.T.?
I love this movie. It's a childhood favorite of mine. It's one of the first movies I remember, like, crying at, or I was just, like, really uncomfortable watching, because, you know, there's a scene in the movie that's really sad. But yeah, I love this movie. What I call it, it's one of those movies that's magical. It's Spielberg at his apex, I think. Like, this and Jaws are like him at his just apex.
Indeed.
I would have to say, with me, it's a very close film with me because, well, I'm gonna tell you a quick embarrassing joke.
Oh no.
When I was born, my mother saw me, and she, of course, they're on medicine when they're giving birth. She was going to call me E.T., and the doctor said, well, why? He said, because he has a long neck, he has a big ass head, and he's got skinny fingers. So that became one of my nicknames growing up from her. So, and I can laugh about it now, but growing up I was like, the fuck, like, why am I called E.T.? And I saw the movie E.T. for the first time. I think I was like 5 or 7, that was back in like 2002, 2003, around that time I saw it, and I was like, oh, now I see. So I think why I remember as much as I do remember from E.T., because I remember thinking, well, she wasn't wrong. I looked pretty much like E.T. I just didn't say E.T. home phone.
E.T. in his human form.
Pretty much. And then I was like less than 7 pounds as a child, so I definitely look like E.T. That didn't help at all.
Oh, Lord. Oh. This has a lot of, I wouldn't say there's a lot of big names in here. I'd say the biggest name in this is Drew Barrymore when she was little. And
yeah.
We also have Henry Thomas in his first role. I wouldn't say he's gotten too big, but he's become a frequent collaborator of Mike Flanagan. So, there's that.
Hell yeah.
Did you guys see that E.T. commercial with him in it, and he's older?
I did, actually.
I saw it once. I meant to go see it again, but I happened to catch it.
I was about to say, I love that commercial, but, you know. Might be a little biased. I remember this was one of the movies I saw with my grandma growing up. This and, like, Forrest Gump and the Planet of the Apes movies.
Oh, nice. You know, fun fact, this is what got Drew Barrymore Firestarter.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because E.T. came out in 82. Yeah, I'm the encyclopedia of movies. E.T. came out in 1982. Firestarter came out in 1984. So when she had done that, she was 9. So when she does E.T., she's 7.
I see.
Of course, we all
Fascinating.
know her. Yeah, we all know her to grow later to do, you know, Charlie's Angels and a few other ones. But Firestarter's actually the first one I saw of Drew. I hadn't seen E.T. yet by that point.
Oh yes. Here's the real kick of this movie. It came out at the same time as Blade Runner and my favorite horror film of all time, The Thing. So while those films tanked, this one was baller. Like, they threw all the awards at this one. And fairly, it's a great movie. But I still feel a little salty because I love The Thing, and that didn't really get recognized as a great movie till years later.
Yeah. Oh, I knew it was recognized when they were making comparisons, saying, "Oh, the original one versus the 2011 one with the heavy CGI." I was like, "Oh, now y'all say that the 82 one."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like apparently they wanted to use more practical effects in the 2011 version, but for whatever reason they couldn't. But I don't want to get into the thing. That's for the Thing episode. That's for the Thing episode.
Right.
Yeah, Carlton actually sent me something. It was Marvel's The Thing. His head was backwards, and it's the head crawling spider thing from The Thing. I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
Oh god.
You're welcome.
I was like, oh god. But yes, I do love E.T. This is like Spielberg at his apex, I think. Like this and Jaws. Maybe Close Encounters of the Third Kind? I don't know. That's another one I haven't seen in a long ass time.
I would think Jaws, this one, and Indiana Jones.
Oh man, I forgot about Indiana Jones. Love Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is just, or the original trilogy anyway. Oh, can't wait to talk about those. That's another one I can't wait to talk about.
Oh yeah.
E.T.'s definitely my top 3. I would say my favorite Spielberg film is probably Jurassic Park, then Jaws, then E.T. are my top 3.
I think as much as I like Lincoln and I like Indiana Jones slightly more than E.T., I think the one thing E.T. for me personally has over the other films, the score.
Oh my god, yes. I love the score in this.
When I was looking at people react to it for the first time, even the kids that were writing for it for the first time were saying that the score was kind of acting like an unofficial cast member. Like when the music needed to be there, it was there, and it elevated pretty much almost every scene.
Indeed, yeah.
I'm finding myself crying and shit as a grown man while I was watching it. I was like, because I'm at the end of the movie, and I realized I've been getting teary-eyed this entire time. I'm just now realizing it. The hell? Because of the freaking music.
Oh, I know. When they lift off at the final part, I get goosebumps every time. I got goosebumps yesterday.
And teary-eyed.
I didn't get teary-eyed, but I did get goosebumps. I was like, oh boy! Ooh.
Oh, we'll get to that point at some point, because we were talking about Kathleen Kennedy. She had something to do with that scene where they come up on the bikes somewhat, because they didn't have... This was between when they were doing Star Wars, because the rule for George Lucas was, look, I want to keep you guys working, I want to keep you guys, paid, but while I'm in the middle of writing the next Star Wars, just take movies from my friends, like Francis Ford Coppola, Steven Spielberg, and all of them. And because of that, in the middle of that, they got Poltergeist, they got E.T., they got Indiana Jones. But when they were trying to figure out the bike scene, they didn't know how they were going to do it, because at that point, they were running out of money. Well, the guy that was doing the effects said, grab a clear string on the tire, pull it on a ramp, and we'll digitally move that out of the way, like the string. So literally, when you see that scene, they're just yanking it up on a ramp.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that. So she figured out how to do that, and that's what basically landed her position working with them. I was watching the documentary on Magic and Light about the special effects on Disney Plus. That's how I found out about it.
Oh, okay. I was about to say before she might have run Disney or Star Wars into the ground, even though aside from the movies, Star Wars is actually doing pretty good right now.
Yeah. This was when she was, I guess tolerable.
This is back when she was young.
We'll get to that probably more down the line as we're talking about E.T. Because there's quite a few things in this that I looked at that stand out to me that didn't stand out to me before when I was a kid. Maybe because I'm older now and stuff like that kind of pops out more. Because as a kid, all you focused on was just the silly stuff with E.T. The more serious aspects of the story kind of went over your head if you're 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I should also mention, they threw all the Academy Awards at this movie. I mean, for good reason. This film is great. But, he got Best Original Score. I mean...
Well, yeah, deserved not.
That's one of the cases where I'm like, okay, Academy Award, I give that to you, because the score in this movie is... I mean, John Williams is mostly baller. Even in the, lesser movies he's in, he's always putting out bangers.
I'm looking it up right now. It won 4 Oscars. It was nominated 9 times. It won 2 Golden Globes, nominated 4, and it won a Grammy.
Oh, wow, Grammy. I did not know that.
Yeah, for the music. I was like, well damn. Okay.
Well deserved.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, bro, throw all the Academy Awards in the world at John Williams, and maybe Hans Zimmer while you're at it.
Pretty much. They probably will for Indiana Jones because that's going to be his last one.
Oh, Lord. I'm talking about movies I'm kind of nervous about is Indiana Jones. And not because I'm afraid it'll be bad, because I like James Mangold. He did make the best Wolverine movie of all time. But I'm kind of worried about Harrison Ford.
Why? Because he's like 80?
Yeah. And
yeah.
I'm sure his stunt double got paid well.
I mean, hey, look, Harrison Ford's badass. Like he does a lot of his own stunts, but I'm like, boy, I hope he doesn't he almost I think he broke something during Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I was like, oh my god.
His ankle.
Yeah, it was his ankle. It's like something dropped on him or something.
And he also broke his arm in Indiana Jones 5.
Oh god. Maybe I'll save the Indiana Jones worry for later, but hey, if not Steven Spielberg, I think James Mangold's a good choice.
Yeah, and I'm sure Steven is still on as either a producer of some sort.
I'm sure. I bet he's like, yeah, he probably wouldn't do that. I'm hoping it's. I mean, anything's better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but.
Oh, you didn't like that one?
Well, I'm on and off on that one. I'll put it that way. Like, Indiana Jones is goofy, to be sure, but I feel like that movie kind of jumped the shark in some places. But, you know what? I'll save that for my Kingdom of the Crystal... We'll save that for the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull episode. We can have you on that one.
Well, when I was watching the Light and Magic documentary on Disney Plus, I didn't know that George Lucas came up with the idea of Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because Steven Spielberg wanted to do James Bond, so George Lucas said, well, I have an idea that's kind of like it, and he pitched it to him, and he said, oh, cool, yeah, I would love to direct it. And that's how Steven Spielberg got onto the Indiana Jones movies.
But, like E.T., Steven Spielberg in this era of his career, this man is on a fucking roll. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jaws, Duel, which is a very underrated film from him. It was his first, big one. And then he comes out and makes E.T., which is just... one of my favorite childhood, this, and, The Incredibles, and Forrest Gump. That was, the holy trinity of my childhood.
Yeah, that explains a lot about you.
It sure does.
I'm one of the guys who unironically likes Forrest Gump. Sorry, not sorry. So.
Well, shit, Forrest Gump is a classic. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it is. I love Forrest Gump.
You know, just If I see you on a shrimp boat, I understand.
No, it's just like it's just like a lot of people make fun of it nowadays, and I'm like, come on, guys, like it's a good movie, but anyway.
Whatever, they don't know.
But yeah, E.T. is great. I really enjoy E.T. I love there's a lot of it where I could kind of like if I were more cynical, I would probably question it, but I'm like, you know what? I don't care. This is just great. It's fun to watch.
Well, a lot of the people that I was like watching, I keep going back to the YouTubers I was watching. Okay, a lot of them said the same thing. That going into it, they thought it was going to be like kind of a horror type deal, but they weren't ready for the tone that it actually had later. So they were basically caught off guard. So I'm like, if they were caught off guard, I can only imagine how people who back in 1982 saw this for the first time felt when they first saw this.
I was about to say, I'm like, E.T. looks like a grandma. They thought this was going to be a horror movie?
I guess because people speak to, like, aliens not being good. They're so used to, like, the alien
okay.
You kind of is responsible for that, or anything that's outworldly is usually associated with some fuckery.
Well, yeah. It's just like
E.T. But E.T. is like, look, I got lost. I was just trying to get home. But how y'all doing?
He's just like, I'm just chilling. Like, just chilling,
Chilling with a glowing finger. That I think I made a joke to one of y'all. I said, if he puts that in your butt and it glows, does your fart glow too?
In all honesty, I don't know if I want to know that answer.
Don't give him a doctor's license.
Nope, don't.
But yeah, okay. Enough joking. Let's get into what happens in actual E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial.
Yeah.
One of the things, watching this film again, it kind of starts out kind of ominously. Like, it's like the tones are kind of low as the movie starts, and it shows E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial, and but yeah, it's like a beautiful California evening, and these alien, I guess they're like planters. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we were talking about how it was ominous for people. I think Steven kind of was playing with that too, personally. Like, he's like, they're not gonna expect the emotional journey they're gonna go with this character, but let me kind of play with the horror aspect of it, so they kind of don't know what to expect, and then kind of paint it from the people that were like looking for in the dark, kind of paint it from their view. To them, they think this is something dangerous or ominous or whatever, but little do they know he's nothing like what we think he's going to be at the beginning of the film. I think that was probably deliberate on Spielberg's part.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, when I first saw it and then they opened to it, the opening, I was like, this kind of feels horror-ish. But then as the movie progressed, I'm like, I can see maybe what Spielberg was trying to do. I don't know if it was like his if it was like on purpose, but I can see what Spielberg was trying to do.
Yeah, I really like how he builds up to E.T. Like, you can see his fingers come out of the... Again, very kind of ominous-like, but then you're like, oh, yeah, he's kind of... He kind of looks like a grandma.
Like, Granny, what you doing with your wobbling ass? That was the biggest thing I saw in this, his wobble. I don't know why, but every time I saw E.T. walk, it just put a smile on my face.
Yeah, I know. It's just watching these aliens, just like, aw, like, I want to pet him. Which I guess that's also kind of another thing Spielberg was going for, because he's like, well, we don't want to have, like, the Thing, where he's, like, transforming and killing everybody.
Or got spider legs coming out of him and shit. And
oh, God.
That'd be a major shift.
One of them ends up... one of the aliens ends up separating from the group and is just fascinated by the city below. But then these ominous vehicles come in, and they're ominous because they're covered in shadow, and the guys are also covered in shadow.
Yeah.
The adults. I just called them the adults in the movie. They're not even like the U.S. government guys. It's just the adults.
The adults.
The rednecks with guns.
Well, yeah, okay, I guess so. I don't know if they're rednecks, but
I love how you went to go try to defend it, but she was like, "Yeah, no, you're probably right."
I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, it's like, I saw some weird space lights. Let's shoot it.
Yeah, like Bobby, go there with the woods and see what the hell that shit is. What you think it is, Paul? I don't know, but the shit about to get 10 inches of lead.
Yep.
It's like a demented Courage the Cowardly Dog episode.
Oh God!
Oh
Don't do
God.
more cards like that.
Oh God.
Jeez. The U.S. government shows up, or the adults again, like I called them. And the other aliens are like, "Fuck this," and they leave. And they end up accidentally leaving the other alien behind. So you're like, "Oh, dang it!" But then the guys are like, "Hey, I see that guy over there," and he kind of hops over. He's like a rabbit. He just hops and he escapes. Like, okay.
Yeah, I know what it sounds like. Okay, I guess I'm like, look, it's too early for me to be cynical, so I'll just continue on.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I'll deal with this.
Like, it is what it is. It is 1982.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll admit, when I watched this, I saw, like, the CGI. I'm kind of jumping to later when we actually see him. I was like, did they alter this after the movie came out? Because I remember it was mostly practical. Like, my brain must be like a Mandela effect type of thing. I don't know. But anyway.
I don't know, like, I usually know about this stuff, but even I always found myself like, I wonder, did they do it like where George Lucas like added CGI like 40 years later in his original ones, or is that how it always was?
No, it was how it always was.
Oh, okay.
Always practical.
Because it was always like that. No, I know it was always practical, but like some of the specific shots, I was like, were they able to actually do that? That must have been a happy accident or something. Because I know E.T. himself is, practical. And it's basically a puppet, because, like how they did Yoda, but just with more mechanical parts in it, which would later be more impressive as the years went by. But I used to think as a kid it was half a puppet and half an actor. Like the top half of it was a suit and someone was inside of it. No, it's not. So now knowing that and seeing it move and wobble, I kind of give it more leniency, because I'm like, honestly, the fact that it can do all that shit in 82, pretty impressive. So if it looks like a penguin or it looks wonky, fuck it. It has a right to look that way, because that's impressive regardless.
Exactly. Plus, it's an alien too, so.
Okay.
I guess the alien's just boat-legged. I don't know.
Yep.
I feel like I'm just bullying it at this point. But, yeah, so it escapes from the adults, and, meanwhile, we see a D&D game commence. And, this is the only time this happens, but, we see some guys playing D&D, and then we meet our protagonist, Elliott, played by Henry Thomas, who is fantastic in this movie.
And, I'm sorry. I gotta point this out. When they're playing D&D, is it me, or is one of them getting ready to poke their mom in the ass when she's bent over doing something?
Oh no, I saw that too.
Clearly.
I ain't crazy, right? Y'all saw that shit.
I saw that.
That was the first thing I saw when I saw it in theaters. I'm like,
I was
don't
like,
poke your mom in the ass.
my nigga, isn't that your friend's mom? You sick son of a bitch.
You sly son of a bitch.
I like how Michael's like, hey, don't.
Bruh, you have to get out.
I can't help myself.
No, you gotta go. But what did I do? You tried to put your finger in my mom's booty dungeon. The fuck you think?
I'll
can't
admit,
help myself.
I guess Spielberg likes blonde ladies, because I thought for a while the mom in E.T. was Willie from the Temple of Doom. No, it was another lady. But they kind of look alike. That's all I'll say.
She was giving me Princess Diana vibes for some reason. I don't know why.
Short hair, maybe?
Yeah, short hair, long skin. I mean, she's gorgeous. But I kept thinking about her the entire time I watched this. I'm like, I know good and damn well Diana is not in here fucking with some aliens.
I gotta say, oh, sorry.
But I couldn't shake that feeling. But I was like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. But I did notice a lot of Steven's movies, he likes blondes.
Well, you like Kate Capshaw, so.
Well, yeah, that too.
So that's saying a lot.
Yeah. I gotta say one of the things I think he captures one of the things Steven Spielberg does really well, and that's he really understands kids very well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's some of the best child acting I've seen.
Oh yeah. Ever. Like all of them act like kids, and they're like insulting each other. They're saying a bunch of dumb things to each other. They're always like, they're kids. That's all I can say. And also, there's a young C. Thomas Howell before, or maybe this is right after his, or no, I think this is right before he did The Outsiders.
Yeah, it is. It's right before, a year before.
And they're like, they order some pizza, even though their mom, for some reason, didn't want them to.
But they decide to.
But they're like, fuck it, we'll get some pizza anyway. And Elliott's like, I want to play! And they're like, okay, you can play once you get the pizza. And he's like, okay. So, he goes out to get the pizza. He gets the pizza. And then he hears something going on then he hears some, like, noises coming from his tool shed. So he goes to the tool shed. And he goes to see what's going on. And he rolls a ball over there. And then the ball rolls back. Ooh. Ooh. And, of course, being a kid, he freaks out and runs back and is like, hey, guys, there's something outside. Or, well, he's saying there's something outside. And they're like, really? Like, come on. So, yeah.
I think well, no, I didn't say this to y'all. I think I was thinking out loud, but I hadn't said it. The entire time I was watching this specific section, tell me it didn't give me Stranger Things vibes.
No, it gave me Stranger Things vibes too.
Like, I think this is where I'm convinced. You can't convince me any other way.
Oh, no, that's readily apparent.
Got this from E.T.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah, that's readily apparent. But yes, again, I really like the, I'll admit, this was a way more taut film than I remember, because I thought it took a little longer for them to meet. I thought there was more, like, family drama before they meet, before they meet E.T., but no, I was wrong. They're right into the E.T. stuff.
No, it's like, nope, we're gonna meet E.T., little family drama, but they're gonna be E.T. immediately.
Well, yeah, and that's not a bad thing, but, it's just like, oh, okay, all right.
Just unexpected. Usually family films like that, you get a little family drama, then it takes, like, 30 minutes for them to meet something.
I think that was one of the things I was dreading. I'm not gonna lie, when I said I was gonna go back and look at it, I was kind of dreading it, because I'm like, I thought I remembered there being a lot of family drama in there that I didn't give a fuck about. But then I was like, oh no, like you said, they just go right into E.T. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. It must be just snippets of it. And then when the brother meets E.T., he's not a dick anymore. I was like, okay, good. We're skipping all that whole trench right there. That whole trope of asshole big brother, finds out what little brother's doing. Little brother's doing something really cool, and then he's on board with it.
He's like, I'm on board.
Like, okay.
Let's get E.T. home.
Yeah, the older kids walk outside and they're like, what are we supposed to be looking at? And they see the pizza and it's like all messed up now. He's like, oh, thanks. And then the mom's all like, who said you could get some pizza? And I'm like, isn't it like a Saturday? Like, isn't it?
Unless you got the money, then that's a whole different thing. But damn, Mom.
Yep.
I'm like, isn't it a Saturday? Why are you concerned about that? But you know what? I don't know. I did not grow up in the 80s, so I can't I won't comment on it, but all I'm saying is that was kind of weird.
Like, look, we got this nice ass house. We can afford some goddamn pizza on a Saturday night.
Yeah, like, come on.
Shit. And y'all are white, so y'all probably middle class. Y'all got the money.
Exactly.
So later on, after the three guys leave and they make fun of Elliott, and Elliott is just kind of disappointed. She's like, I swear there's something in there. And then we meet the rest of the family. We meet little Drew Barrymore when she was like 6, and I love her role in this movie. I love this scene where she's just repeating everything everyone's saying. You're just like,
6-year-old.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, that's cute. And Michael's all like, dude, are you sure you didn't just like see like a coyote or something? He's like, it wasn't a coyote. And his mom's like, I don't know. I don't know. And then we get just one of the slingiest. Then he slings one of the greatest film insults of all time when he calls him a gremlin, and he's like, it wasn't like that. Paint his breath. And then, I love how his mom reacts. She's like, Elliott, and she almost like laughs. You can tell like she kind of thinks it's funny, but she's like, Elliott, no.
Oh, because I was wondering what the hell that came from when Jacob said that in chat. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's making reference to E.T. I was like, no.
It's from that scene.
It's from that scene. Yeah.
I've never heard that a day before in my life. I was like, no fuck. I was like, okay, it's funny. But I didn't realize that was a damn reference.
Yep, it was a reference.
No,
Damn.
I love his mom's reaction. She's both like she's kind of caught between. She's like trying to scold him, and then she thinks like, "Wow, okay, that happened." Because my mom's done that shit dozens of times when I've said some weird shit like that. But he's just how Michael just quiets down. Though sadly, nothing beats the almighty. Now go home and get your fucking shine box from Goodfellas, which is my favorite film insult of all time.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, man.
Didn't think I'd shoot a Goodfellas reference in here, but haha, I did.
You sure did.
Deal with it.
Just don't drink to that.
Oh no, I'm not planning on it. Not planning on it.
Damn it, Jacob.
It'll happen one day.
So Elliott deciding he's kind of a stubborn ass. He decides he's gonna stay out there, and he's gonna stay out and during the night, and he's gonna wait for this thing.
Like a boss.
Yeah. So he's like laying there for a little bit, and then he hears like some stuff going down, and then he goes into a cornfield. And here's the part where I was like, where I was kind of like, this is one of the parts where I was like, did they go back and CGI that? Because I don't remember that. And when he first meets it, he's like, yeah! And the alien just goes, and he like runs off.
I don't think so. To my knowledge, I don't think.
I don't know either, but anyways.
I don't know, because I think there was, if there was a, well, not if, there was CGI, because CGI is always in movies. I think there may have been touch-ups of it, but I'm pretty sure that was genuine, like it was back then, like it is now. Like I said, there's so many things that they do in this with the prosthetics and the props and the practical effects is so freaking impressive for that year. It's easy to dismiss some of it as, oh no, that's probably CGI, but looking back at it, I'm like, no, they were just able to pull that out of their ass and make it happen somehow.
Yeah, because it was CGI. Like, the film is, like, trying to be as practical as possible. Like, this blend of practical and CGI is, like, seamless.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how, I don't know,
There was
you know.
CGI added. Well, of course there was.
Well, I was about to say, I don't know how CGI, I don't know if CGI worked as much as it, I don't know where CGI was in 1982, but, yeah, I'm
Not what it is now. That's for
it ain't what it was now, put it that way.
100%.
And being that George Lucas and his company is founded, like what CGI is now, like the Avengers movies, that all came from George Lucas's company. So they were doing this, you know, for the first time before anyone else. So I can imagine this, like every movie that they did pioneered something in filmmaking that we take now, like again, Star Wars, the way that they did the ships, or the way that they did the sound effects. We now probably use those tactics now. The way they did the props in E.T. and Star Wars 2, or how they did the CGI in Poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
All these films from George Lucas that all were doing something that was inventing what they did not. They had some resistance at first when they were going into the digital aspect of it from their crew, but once they learned all this stuff that they could do that was going to be easier, they're like, okay, I'm on board. But nothing beats, to me, mostly practical. CGI is okay to touch up on it, but I don't like it when movies rely solely on it.
No, then it just starts to stick out and it starts to be noticeable.
Because then you get the Transformers films.
Oh god.
Yes.
God.
It hurts my eyes and I can't tell what's going on.
Speaking of Star Wars, I just had to mention this. I had to mention this. The Star Wars product placement in this movie is ridiculous.
Oh, it's on another
But I love it at the same time. Because it's like, Steven Spielberg and George Lucas are old. I think they went to college together, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And he's just like really throwing George Lucas a bone with this movie. He's like, I'm going to promote all of your product, which is even more hilarious considering that E.T.'s people might or might not be in the Star Wars universe. So does that confirm that Earth is in the Star Wars universe? I don't know, but it's
the crossover you didn't know you needed.
The crossover.
Exactly.
It's even more hilarious when E.T. sees the guy dressed up as Yoda later, and he like goes over towards him.
If you ask me, that's just smart marketing.
Yeah.
Promoting two
That's how
films
you
all
market
at once.
something.
Oh, jeez. Okay, but I'm getting ahead of myself. He discovers the alien, and as you'd expect, he's initially frightened of this thing. And the E.T. is also frightened of the boy and runs off. And then Elliott is just kind of left not knowing what to do. Because he's like, he doesn't know how to tell his parents, or not his parents. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, his dad's in Mexico, allegedly.
Yes.
Okay. I kind of gave up on that. When I was watching it, I'm like, okay, fuck it, he's in Mexico, whatever. Just, look, honestly, with all this trouble, y'all could have just said he was dead.
Yeah, and then his mom just goes, he hates Mexico! And, like, runs off, and then Michael's like, why the hell did you bring that up?
Because I'm his daddy, that's why.
Anyway, I've heard there's a deleted scene, and Harrison Ford is actually Elliott's dad, which, oh boy.
Oh, Lord.
Imagine having Harrison Ford as your dad. That'd be something.
Indiana Jones, that's your dad.
Air Force One up in this bitch.
It's a great movie. Anyway, so the next day, I'm guessing it's Sunday because he's not in school, but Elliott decides, despite his family not really believing his claims, he leaves a trail of candy. I guess either it's M&M's or Reese's Pieces. They're really going for that
Pieces.
they're Reese's Pieces.
Yeah,
They're really going for that marketing in this movie.
Yeah, this movie made him famous, and now every time you get it, it's because of E.T. People know about the candy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all just on top of y'all marketing game in this movie. Thank you, George. God damn.
Like, man, first Star Wars, not Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, and he like drops candy for the E.T. to get, and it works, and I think he's like waiting out there again, and then he sees it. He's like, whoa, there it is, and then he sees it, and then it just like waddles out. You're like, okay, that's E.T. Hello there, and it's. E.T. I love this thing. I don't know. It's kind of, it's almost silly, but it's endearing in how silly it is.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think Britton told me this when he was rewatching E.T. that he loves how E.T.'s like a big child.
Pretty much.
He's like, what?
Pretty much a curious 2-year-old. That's what I would consider a curious 2-year-old.
Yeah, he's always like touching stuff and like biting things and trying to eat stuff, and Elliott's like, stop it.
I have to say, Elliott was pretty much the MVP, trying to keep everything together, trying to balance this in secret.
And let me tell you, they're really trying to sell the toys too, because he gets in a lot of get-ups in this movie.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! How the fuck did I miss that?
You didn't see the scene where he's in drag?
Oh well, I saw that scene. And I remember thinking, you know what? There's some drag queens that are like 70 that look just like that, so I can't even comment.
It's just funny because I'm like, God, E.T. looks like something. It's like a mix between a grandma and a benevolent chest burster.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's the best way I can describe it, maybe.
That's damn near spot on.
Because it kind of does look like a chest burster, a little bit. Wait, no, this was like 3 or 4 years after Alien came out, so yeah.
Yeah. Alien came out 79, so.
Hey, stop. I like how Elliott is in the old jammies where it's just a full on outfit, just like a full on costume, not costume.
Oh, yeah.
It's like his shirt and jam. I used to wear that when I was like 6, and I'm like, no. So now I just sleep in my shorts. But yes. But he ends up leading the alien inside with the candy, and the alien. Good thing this isn't a government agent. He'd be screwed if this were the government.
Oh god.
It'd be an American Dad situation.
Yeah. Oh god. Ooh. Maybe don't bring that up.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Seth MacFarlane was like, you know what? Let me take from E.T. Let me make Roger the gay alien. Hi.
I wouldn't be surprised either. It's probably where they got the idea from.
Because, hell, Seth did, episodes for Family Guy in honor of Star Wars. He probably was raised on E.T. too.
So, he ends up bringing the alien up to his room and starts, showing him around, and he's, touching stuff. And then he realizes it can, imitate his movements. That E.T. can imitate his movements. So he's yawning, and then it yawns, and he scratches his chin. He scratches its chin, which that's one of the kind of things I still question about this movie. So they're connected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So and it's when later, maybe I should save that for later on. But it's when that particular thing happens, is it E.T. gave its life so he would live? It's really weird. But aside from that,
oh yeah, we gotta talk about that because I was thinking that, and the YouTubers I was watching basically were all pointing that out.
Yeah.
So what happens is the next day after that whole fiasco, Elliott feigns illness and he puts a thing on his. I think it's hilarious. He puts a thing on his face. He puts those warm beds that I use for whenever I've gotten ear infections, which oof. Not pretty, no. But he puts that on his face. He puts the light over his head or over the thermometer. Ah, great stuff.
Conning the system.
Yes.
Indeed.
Excuse me.
Doing that, then he was, like I said, Elliott was putting in so much work to do all this shit.
Yeah, I know. I was like, damn. So, Elliott ends up playing. So he basically ends up playing with him, showing him all his stuff, He says his name. He shows him some stuff, and he's showing him all of his Star Wars action figures. Going back to that to the Star Wars product placement in this movie. I love it.
Yeah.
Steven is helping a homie out. He's like, I'm promoting your movie, even though it's like one of the biggest movies in the world.
It's a not fun fact. This is kind of a fucked up fact, but Steven Spielberg almost directed a Star Wars movie.
Oh.
And you know why he didn't?
Why?
Why?
Because the Academy fucked George Lucas over. Because when the Empire Strikes Back came out, the whole the credit opening thing that he was allowed to do in the first one, he wanted to do that again. The Academy was wanting to charge him more money for having to do that, and was going to go after the director that they had for that second one. It was a whole debacle thing. So George said, "Fuck you! I'll just pay whatever, and I'm gonna drop out of the Writers Guild, the Motion Pictures Association, all that stuff." So because he dropped out of all that and said "fuck them," they wouldn't let him use George Lucas to direct the third one. I mean, they wouldn't let him use Steven Spielberg to direct the third one. So he couldn't get to him. But in the meantime, he pitched Indiana Jones to Paramount, and Steven Spielberg got attached to that. But to this day, Steven said he wished he had gotten a chance to do a Star Wars movie. I'm like, yeah, that would have been freaking awesome.
Yeah, especially knowing how versatile Spielberg is. Yeah, I'm not surprised that he almost directed Star Wars. I would love to see that.
Apparently George Lucas was wanting to get him for the prequel films, but he was like, "No, it's yours, George." And well, we all know how that turned out.
Hey, those were good. Fuck that. Fuck what people say. Those are actually good. Yeah, there's some corniness in there, but honestly, story-wise, I feel they were needed. I appreciate them a lot more now than I did as a kid.
I'll admit, I do have a soft spot for the prequels.
Especially with Jar Jar. I know people don't like Jar Jar, but I support the actor 100%. Whether you like the character or not. The fact that he even came back to say, "Hi, how y'all doing?" when he could have said, "You know what, fuck all y'all. I hate all you toxic motherfuckers."
I'll admit, the only time I was annoyed by Jar Jar is in The Phantom Menace when he's like, "Lisa going home!" I'm like, okay, could you...
I don't care. I freaking love Jar Jar.
I'm like, could you shut the fuck up? Jesus. I'm like, I've dealt with you this... you know what? I've been fine with your wacky antics, but that was just like, why are you doing that?
I freaking love Jar Jar. And I'm pissed that they made him into a synth in the comics, but whatever. That kind of fucked it up for me. But we're not going to talk about my depression. We're talking about E.T.
So E.T. And Elliott get to know each other, and Elliott is just showing him around the place. He's showing him all his stuff. He's got a bunch of toys, and he's Star Wars mainly, but you know, he's got like Incredible Hulk in the background, and he's like some paintings in there. I don't know what those are, but
and then this is singing it where the brother comes up.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you know that thing. I love how, just like a kid, he's all excited. He's really excited to like stick one into his. This film's almost a sitcom at points.
Yeah, pretty much.
I wonder if this is where Alf got its idea. I bet this is where Alf got its idea, was from E.T.
I would not be surprised.
I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen Alf. I've seen only a couple episodes. It's basically if E.T. were a sitcom. And E.T. just like shows him around. He makes him a bath, and he like falls in, and you think he's gonna like drown. And Elliott calls his mom. He's like, "Hey mom, what's up? Oh, I'm not feeling too great. I'm about to." And he pours Coke on the phone. He's like,
that That kind of triggered me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, why'd you pour it on the phone?
You dumbass! You didn't have to pour it on the actual phone. You could have poured it anywhere else.
But
On the phone.
turns out E.T. was just dicking with him. He's fine. He just likes hanging out underwater.
Like I said, he's like a toddler. When I saw that scene, I'm like, this has no business being as cute as it is. But you know what? I'm all for it.
But yeah, I love. I don't know if this is the scene or if it's like a little later, but I love the scene where his mom is like looking around in Elliott's room, and then like other the toys, and then there's E.T.'s face. I busted out laughing.
No, I bust out laughing when I saw it in theaters because it's so funny.
I noticed it when I think the scene was like 2-3 seconds away from ending. I was like, oh shit, tell me she went past E.T. and didn't notice that shit. But,
And it's
okay.
like, who the fuck is this?
Okay. But then again, if you're not expecting to see an alien, you're not gonna think to look. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll let that slide. I can understand it. And
So-
visually, it's funny.
Apparently, Elliott can also feel the alien's thoughts and emotions because when E.T. accidentally opens an umbrella, it startles him, and then it startles Elliott. So, later, back what I was saying, I like how Elliott is so excited to like rub it in, and his brother like, yeah, I was right, yeah, like a kid would.
You were wrong. Yeah, when it comes to them talking shit, being a dickbag, and he's like, yeah, where's your little friend? He turns around, and his jaw couldn't have been any lower than one.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I need you to turn around and close your eyes. He's like, fine. Then he brings E.T. I love how he waddles. He just like waddles around. And then he turns around, he's like, what the fuck is that?
It's Carlton.
And E.T. just saying, oh. And Michael's just like, what the hell is this? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention earlier, Michael, like, wants to drive, I guess, and he, like, drives reverse. He doesn't know how to put it in drive. He doesn't know how to put it in drive. It's like, oh, God.
Like, yeah, okay. But that's what you're, like, most kids around that age, they want to get laid, they want to meet celebrities, and they want to drive. Well, we know what his thing is. For some reason, in a rush to want to learn how to drive and do stuff. But then again, he's like, what, 16, 17?
Yeah.
I don't know how old he is. I thought he was like 15, but I could be wrong. Meanwhile, his sister walks in, and one of the more iconic scenes in the movie is where Gertie walks in, sees the alien, and then screams while the alien goes, "Rah!"
And he's got that the giraffe neck.
And his neck just like his neck pops up, and everyone's like, "Calm down, calm down!" And he like, and then he knocks over the, and then he knocks over, or is that later when he knocks over all his stuff?
No, that happens right then. As soon as he sees that shit, he knocks down the dresser, he knocks down the desk, he breaks all that shit.
Yeah, I love how his mom comes in. She's like, "Oh, you look better." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Clean up all this stuff," and then I think that's when she looks around. Then there's E.T.'s face and all the toys.
But the thing is, she came into that room. I noticed this too. She came into the room fast as shit. Damn near like the Flash. Like, what the fuck going on here?
Good mom, I guess. Aside from the fact that, you know, one of the things I think is weird, and I'm kind of jumping a little bit, but I love how I think it's funny how she just like quickly accepts what's going on.
He's like, oh, there's an alien.
Oh, there's an alien in the house. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, by that point in the movie, do you really want to waste 5 minutes of her deciding if she believes it or not? Like, oh, we've gotten on board with this already. Just come on.
I mean, it makes sense. She saw it, and she's like, well, it looks... I don't know what else to say rather than that's an alien.
Like, it's a thing in my house. It doesn't bite, does it?
Yeah, and so the kids end up asking him about his origins, and she's like, and he shows them where he's at. He's like, "This is Earth," and then he starts like levitating some like balls or whatever the hell that is. He starts levitating some stuff, and all the kids are like, "Ooh," and he drops all of them.
I will say that. Yeah, that was probably one of the. It's subtle. It's not a big effect, but for me, its simplicity is what makes it kind of cool. Of showing what ET can do, and also giving a sense of like setting the tone of a set of wonder. That even though we've spent by this point in the movie maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes with it already, we're still not sure what exactly he is. But we just know that when he does stuff, it's magical. It's not anything threatening. It's not anything bad. Just everything he does, no matter how small or big, is basically, you can tell it's going to be something that they remember when he does leave. It's the little things. Like, I can't think of that phrase. It's the little things that will stand out to them the most. And you can only wonder what else he can do, and I like that element about him.
Oh, absolutely. The little things that he can do are the ones that are the most memorable.
Oh yeah, and so he also demonstrates that he has powers, I guess, and he revives some dead flowers.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, that's pretty cool. So later on, in another case of advertising, the mom is reading Gertie, Peter Pan, wink, wink, wink. And E.T. hears it, and he's, like, really fascinated by it. On the meanwhile, Elliott and Michael are, like, trying to find tools to help E.T. get back home. And, yeah, and I love how Michael's just like, bro, he doesn't look that good. Like, are you sure he's okay? And he's all like, I'm sure he's fine, Michael. Nah. And he's like, okay. And then you see him, he, like, looks fine to me. I guess that's foreshadowing for later, but it's like, all right.
Yeah. And wait, has the scene already happened by this point, or is it getting ready to happen? Where E.T. is walking through the kitchen.
Oh no, we're not there yet.
Granddaddy with his belly out.
no, we're not there yet.
I don't. Yeah, because it popped in my head because I was thinking about think about it. Because I remember seeing the dog barking at E.T. and E.T. was like, the fuck is that shit? But then I'm remembering the part where E.T. looks like my granddaddy with his stomach with the shirt on and shit. And it's funny but disturbing at the same time.
Then we see the mom. Her name's Mary, I think. Mary is reading Gertie the Peter Pan book. Wink, wink. Definitely isn't making a. Definitely am not referencing another movie I made about that exact subject.
Wink, wink.
He also demonstrates that he can heal people because Elliott ends up cutting his finger on the saw, on like a saw thing, which let me tell you right now, that has never happened to me when I've dealt with equipment like that. Just saying. Really? Even when I've poked it a little, I've never gotten cut. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm like, dude, come on. And then E.T. I think Spielberg just wanted E.T. to flex his power. He gets a little shiny on his finger, and he just points it, and he heals the finger.
Yeah.
I like how he's like, yeah. He's like,
oh, surprise, bitch. Like, Jesus can turn water into wine. Motherfucker, I can fix your finger.
Then we get to my favorite scene of this movie. The one that I remember over all of them. It is one of the funniest scenes, but it's also oddly touching, maybe? It's the magic of Spielberg, I'll put it that way. So, Elliott goes to school the next day, and everyone's gone. So, E.T. decides, I'm gonna hang out and look around the place. So, he ends up going down the stairs, and he's chilling out. He sees some, like, potato salad, looks at it, he's disgusted, and, oh yeah, I forgot they have a dog named Harvey, and he's waddling around, and he's looking for some food, doesn't like the food, but then he finds some beer, and oh boy, you want some great comedy. I love this. I love it. I love it.
I just can't get over how E.T. looks in that scene. Like, it's what he's doing it is cute, but the looks creepy as shit.
If he didn't already look like a grandparent, then he does by the point in this scene. He's like drinking the beers.
Like when your granddad walk around the house naked, just letting his shit just swing. That's what E.T. looks like, but short and wobbling like a penguin.
Exactly.
He like drinks the and then Elliott starts feeling it too. He's all like, and then I love how he's like walking around and he like hits the wall and he's like oh, and he like walks over, hits the wall again, and then he like falls over. I love it. I love it. I love it. And Elliott falls out and like, is he all right? And he like glances at this girl that he likes, and he's like, yeah, what's up, boy? So then they're about to dissect frogs, which I'll just put it this way. I always thought that was a weird thing, just like, why are you dissecting frogs?
What, just in general?
Yeah, I mean, I get why in general, but it's like, why are you forcing kids to cut open frogs? You weirdo.
Well, when I was in middle school, no, high school, yeah, I did that.
I never did that, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, but I don't know.
In high school, I was stupid, so I had the...
Did you cut it open? Did you kill it, Carlton?
Well, yeah, I did. I was like, hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. My teacher got the reference. She thought it was funny. Everyone else was like, don't do that to the frog. I'm like, whose feelings am I hurting?
I dissect the frogs, then I saved the frog legs when I went home and cooked some frog legs.
Oof.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, they're good. Yummy. Delicious.
So, I guess Elliott feels the same way I do, because he just decides to start freeing the frogs in his biology class, and all the kids start freaking out and letting the frogs out, and the adults are like, what the hell is going on? I also like how all of the adults who aren't Elliott's mom aren't shown.
Yeah.
In other movies, it'd be kind of cheesy, it'd be kind of a cheesy, adults just don't understand kind of thing. But in this movie, it's kind of like, that's interesting.
I mean, I remember the mother waxed the fuck out of E.T. with the refrigerator door.
Yeah. Then E.T. starts watching some stuff, like he's watching a cartoon, and then he's watching a movie, The Quiet Man, which has John Wayne in it. And John Wayne pulls this biddy into the room, and then he kisses her. And then Elliott does that the same way. On the one hand, that's kind of cute, but on the other, man, did that not age well.
Look,
I don't want to be that guy, but I'm like, man, that didn't age as well as, that didn't age as well as he'd like, but okay.
Like, you know, there's some people that saw that now and be like, technically that's rape. Like, he's fucking 10. Shut up.
I mean, if I knew how sex worked, I'd do it, but since I don't.
Like,
No,
damn.
I mean, with the kid, it's cute. Just in the movie, you're just like, huh. That's...
like the concept is risky, but because like, hey, I can deal with it.
Now, when Elliott does it to the girl, that's fine. Like that, I'm fine with that. You know, kids do dumb shit all the time. Like that. And I like how when he's dragging him away, the girl's foot just like goes to the side, and you're like, oh, that's adorable. On the meanwhile, you want some really old school references. You want some real old school references. E.T. Is reading a comic strip where Buck Rogers, who is stranded, ends up calling for help by making a communication device out of scraps. Which, if you don't know, Buck Rogers was a big inspiration for Star Wars.
Yep.
Well, that and Flash Gordon, but aside that, same thing. And
and a little bit of Space Odyssey, I think it was called 2000.
Oh yeah, watching that, he's like, ooh. And then we get another scene. Gertie and Elliott's mom show back up at home, and she's just like walking around, and there's E.T. just waddling around. I love how the mom doesn't suspect anything. She's like, huh, that's weird. And she looks at the dog. She's probably like, I like how oblivious she is. She's just like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
you don't see this alien walling around in your home.
The dog's probably thinking, bitch, if you only knew.
Yeah, exactly. But the dog is like, bro, I've seen some shit today.
Yeah.
And like E.T.'s waddling around, and Gertie's like really trying to get her mom to meet this thing, and she's like watching this TV, and it's saying like B for Bandit, and then E.T.'s like B, and she's like,
How can you not have heard that?
It's so.
Like, what is that weird noise? Who is saying B that way?
She didn't notice it either. I'm like, what? I mean,
I
like,
guess she assumed it was the TV or something, but I was sitting there like, come on now. Something's got to make you go like, what the hell is that?
I bet if E.T., if she saw E.T., she'd like grab a broom and just start like trying to whack him, and he's like, ah! But E.T. didn't. But I guess Spielberg didn't want to have that in a movie. It would have been like, it would have been kind of funny, but So E.T. ends up finding some stuff, and he's like, we're gonna make a and E.T. tells, and then Gertie ends up starting to play with E.T. as well, and so Elliott gets home, and he's kind of like, I'm surprised his mom is not more mad at him for allegedly being intoxicated and then letting a bunch of frogs out. She's just pissed off that she doesn't have to, she doesn't want to pay for it. That's the only thing she's mad about.
It's like weird that you're not mad, but okay.
I don't.
This mom is weird.
I don't want to question her, but it's like, I know how my mother is. I know how most mothers would be. You're not even in the middle. You're kind of off the scale.
Yeah, you are.
You don't make sense, woman, but okay, you're nice.
Yeah, my mom would just be like, you're not doing shit. Go to your room. If I were pulling that shit back in the day.
You might get 3 meals a day out of me.
And then Gertie's like, look what I did to him. And then there's E.T. in drag. And Elliott's response is quite appropriate. He just goes, oh, God.
Yeah. Meanwhile, E.T.'s like, don't be mad because I'm a bad bitch.
E.T.'s like, hey, don't worry about that. Now come here. He's like, I'm gonna show you something.
In his defense, he doesn't look that bad.
No, he kind of looks like a grandma. Like I said before, he kind of looks like a grandma.
Like driving Miss Daisy, but okay.
Yeah.
Driving E.T., starring Morgan Freeman.
Oh, God.
Here I shit in the car, waiting for him to wobble inside so I can drive.
And he's like, okay. He's like, all right, I'm fucking with this guy. So yeah, E.T. ends up getting Elliott's help to build a device so he can go phone home. Which, by the way, Gertie's like, I taught him how to talk, and he's like, phone. He's like, oh, and he's like, and he like points up to the sky back to where his house is, or not his house, but you get what I mean.
Like, that's my crib.
Elliott is like, alright. So they end up getting some devices together so they can make it. And Michael also notices that, hey, E.T. doesn't look great. He looks like he's not doing that well. And that Elliott keeps referring to himself as we for some reason. So throughout this whole debacle, the boys are unaware that E.T. is being tracked by the adults.
Hell.
Dun dun dun. Anyway, so E.T. is just chilling, you know. So it's Halloween, and I guess Elliott is just, you know, Elliott's going as whatever the hell that was. I don't know what that is, but it's something, I guess. I don't know what. Can you guys guess? I don't know what that is. A zombie?
I think so.
I have no
I'm gonna be
idea.
honest. I was so focused on the fact. Well, I'll be honest. I was focused on the mom's outfit more than anything, to be honest.
Honestly, yeah.
That, because I'm like, okay, she looks like Josie and the Pussycat Dolls, giggity. And then I'm looking at how E.T. is trying to quote unquote heal the brother. He
Yeah.
thinks that he has a knife.
He's like, stop it, dude. It's fake. Stop.
And then when he gets flashed with the camera, he just falls over like a cow that tips over.
And the mom still doesn't suspect. It's like,
I'm like, that's the most oblivious. She's the most oblivious bitch I've ever seen in my life.
I would have
Oh my God.
at least been like, oh no, is she all right? He's just like,
Something.
he's just.
They removed the blanket. It's like, it's an alien.
She's like, what is that? It's like, it's so dumb. It's like, this woman is the most oblivious person in the world. It's like,
No.
ugh.
Knowing her, she would have flipped it open and seen it. She'd be like, oh, she has a second outfit underneath. That's so cool.
How'd you guys make that? And he's like,
Like, fuck it. At this point, we can get away with murder with her.
Yeah,
they
we
would.
can get away with an alien.
Hell, we'd rob the bank and they'd be driving backwards and they'd still get away. They still would be unaware of it.
Where'd you get all this money from? Oh, we've been saving up. Oh, okay.
Like, well, good. You can help with the bills. Sure. We make fun, but it's all because it's fun. Like, you had to imagine Steven filming this was probably having the time of his life.
Oh, I bet he
Oh,
was.
hell yeah.
I definitely would be. So yeah, on Halloween they dress up E.T. as a ghost, and it's fucking hilarious. Like, it's I love E.T. That's another scene I remember because he's like waddling around, and they're like really trying to help him out, and so Michael and Elliott make a plan. They're like, okay, we're gonna go out in the forest and we're gonna see if we can get this guy back to, you know, we can see if we can get E.T. back to his homies, to his family, or whoever those aliens were. They were probably just bros. I don't know. Who knows? Never
Who knows,
explained.
indeed.
Who knows? So, they end up like waddling. They they walk around, and if the Star Wars stuff wasn't already apparent, here comes a guy dressed up as Yoda, and E.T. just like goes and like no. He's like home, and I'm like no, it's not home. Which is even more hilarious considering that E.T. might or might not be in the Star Wars universe. So there you go.
Like, the fuck was that? They tried to yell at me. Ouch.
Yeah, I know. It's funny when he's like trying to like he's trying to heal Michael, and Michael's like, "Don't stop! No, it's fake. Look," and he like takes it. I'm surprised he didn't just take it off and show him.
He probably was trying to keep his cool. Like, I think they were doing a lot of not just in the moment thinking. Like, we can be like, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that, but at the same time, shit, what would you do if you had an alien you were trying to hide?
What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, the stress would be too much for me. I'm like, look, little homie, you gotta go back. I can't deal with this.
I'd probably just be like asking him a bunch of questions about space. If a friendly
Where's
alien
space
came to my house, I'd probably just ask him a bunch of questions about aliens. Like, how is your society? Are you trying to warn us about an apocalypse? Like, what's going on here? Do you have
Like,
anal probes? You know, I've heard there's a lot of those.
Yeah, you would ask that shit too.
Who wouldn't?
When Quagmire asked, so do y'all do the anal probes? And the aliens go, no, we kind of retired that.
So, E.T. So they end up tracking. They end up tracking to the forest, and then there's Gertie. She's dressed up in her cowgirl outfit, and she's also in a ghost outfit. Which, again, the mother does not notice this later on. She's like, what was that? Ooh, then who's under the thing? But, you know, I digress. We've made fun of the mom enough.
Not enough, if you ask me. But
No.
we'll be nice.
So they end up going to, so they bicycle around for a little bit, and E.T. is in like a hood, and I call him Mary of Nazareth E.T. We've gotten Ghost E.T., Drag E.T., we've gotten Grandpa E.T., and now we have Mary Mother of Jesus E.T., who's in the rap.
Yeah.
Ave Maria.
Ave Maria, yes, thank you. Ave Maria E.T. And I mean, it's funny too, because there's people who've said that E.T.'s kind of like Jesus, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have the long hair, but yeah.
You know, and people don't keep making me seem like I'm a white man looking like Obi-Wan, but whatever.
Exactly.
I got holes in my feet and hands.
But he does die and come back to life, though. I'm getting ahead of myself. So,
I mean, you're not wrong, though.
yeah, it's true. But, you know, it's like, yeah.
E.T. died for my sins.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's good. This is good. It's great. I love this. Oh, man. Anyway, so, E.T. and Elliott end up trekking through the forest, and he starts, like, riding around, and he starts, like, okay, E.T., you might want to do something, and then he ends up, like, floating up, and you're like, yeah, boy, and that John Williams score is just fucking going off. You're like, yeah, boy, this is great.
Hell yeah.
And then we get the I actually watched it and I heard it on my earphones. It was fucking awesome. And we get the most iconic shot of the movie where E.T. is flying Elliott on his bicycle over the moon. And it's great.
I almost busted a nut when I saw it in theaters.
Oh, man. Don't you do that to people? They got enough sticky shit to clean up.
Oh, God.
Too bad.
Nasty ass. I can only imagine how much they had to clean up when you saw Spider-Man.
I was like,
I filled up my whole room.
oh, God.
That was no. Look like why does it look like the Nile River over here?
So
we skipped a lot of shit in the middle too.
So they end up setting up the device, and then they end up passing out the next day. Next day, Elliott wakes up, which and he sees E.T. is gone, so he's like, "What the fuck? Where's E.T. at?" All right, he just fucking ditched me during the night. Guess I'll head home, even though I'm in the fucking butt-ass middle of the forest. So, oh yeah, meanwhile, so Kate, or not Kate, the mom looks at the time, and she's like, those bastards, goes outside, and sees like a bunch of kids, it's like Devil's Night from The Crow out there, except not as violent. And like, people are like, TPing houses, throwing shit. She gets egged a few times. And she gets eggs thrown at her, and there's Michael and Gertie just walking casually, and then she like drives up and's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" I love how casual. Going back to just her being super not angry at them when they like disobey her, and they kind of look down to like, "Hey, what's up?" And I love how Gertie just goes, "We had to help Elliott and his secret friend." It's like, oh. I love how Michael's just like, "Oh my God, why?" It's like, what am I doing with my life? And they end up taking him home, and then the next day, she's worried sick about Elliott. Finally, she's like concerned.
Right?
Like, I was like, oh, who? Elliott who? I'm like, oh, my son. I guess I should be worried.
She's like, where Elliott? And she's like, he's chilling. It's fine. It's fine, guys. Like, he'll be all right. And then,
like, okay.
Here's the one I'll kind of question: how the hell did he find his way home? I gotta say that he was out in the freaking middle of the forest. Like, come on.
I guess he just knows the surroundings enough.
Maybe his dad like taught him how to navigate through the stars or some shit.
I mean, look, at this point, all that Elliott has done to hide E.T., he probably is smart as hell. He probably knows his way home inside and out.
Yeah.
You know what?
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised at that. But yeah, so Elliott comes home and he's like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And then his mom finally just goes, "Elliott, never do that again." And he's like, "Oh, it's cool." And then he goes to Michael. He's like, "Go find him." He's like, "All right." So, our homie Michael, who again just somehow manages to find this makeshift device out in the middle of the forest. And he can't find E.T. and then he walks. Oh, he ends up like running around for a little bit, and then he finally finds E.T., who now just looks horrible.
Yeah.
And he is not doing good. He is not doing well. He's pale, just deathly pale. Looks like me when I've gotten sick. Let me tell you, right? I'm already pale as it is. He looks like me when I get sick. It's bad.
Like, there's not too many scenes in this movie that like are haunting, but there's something haunting about seeing E.T. in that particular. When you've seen him, one full of color, full of personality. Now you see that was like a shock you weren't ready for. You're kind of mad that they made you see E.T. like that.
Yeah, I know.
And then you see him just completely pale and just like not doing well, and you're like, just like in shock, just like, whoa.
It looks like my finger in a hot boiling water. It was like, ugh.
There are a couple blanks. Like, one, why is E.T. sick? And two, where did he go? Why did he wander off in the middle of the night? And that's about it for the questions. Aside from that, all we know is E.T. is not doing well. and because him and Elliott are like heterosexual life partners now, Elliott's not doing too hot either. He looks like he's just oh man.
I think maybe, well, I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe E.T. was looking for Elliott, or because by this point they've been teasing that these two are connected somehow. So maybe subconsciously or consciously, however you want to say it, he was trying to find trying to find Elliott, and Elliott was trying to find him. But of course, in the process, they both get sick. So Elliott is sick because E.T. is. Well, no, he's not even sick. He's pretty much dying. Like, not even sick. He's dying.
Yeah, he gets like a really like. It's almost like he gets like a really nasty cold. That's the best way I could describe it, anyway.
Times 3 diseases at once.
Yep.
Something like that. It's like he has like some sort of terminal disease and like a really bad cold. Which, you know, that makes sense. I'm sure aliens aren't prepared for for human what is it? Physiology. I don't know. That's probably not the right word, but you know.
I mean, unless you're Superman or Goku, but
Well, yeah. They're different, but yeah. They're different, but you know, yes. So, his mom shows back up, and, Michael's like, look, we have something we need to tell you, and you don't tell anybody else. We probably should have told you earlier, but you know what? You were already pretty oblivious as it was, so we weren't gonna say nothing. But now we are, because this is getting concerning. And she's like, well, what is it? And then she brings him up, and there's E.T. and Elliott just chilling on the ground. And they're both looking bad.
And then, like, in that moment, what are your feelings? Okay, my son is sick as fuck.
I don't know either yet. It's like,
there's an alien in here in front of me, sick as fuck. The fuck?
Like, what is going on here?
it's like there's this dwarf grandma looking thing on the ground. It looks like he's about to die. There's my son over here who is also ill and just really freaking sick.
But E.T. looks like a mummified version of Danny DeVito.
Oh, God.
So then I started blasting,
Christ.
you know.
While in penguin makeup.
Oh, God. Oh,
Gonna give
man.
him the black mouth stuff.
Waiting for Batman. Waiting for Batman Returns. Waiting for that day.
Oh, y'all better have me. Anything Batman related, y'all better have me on that shit.
Oh, we will. I promise, my sir, my good sir. We'll get you.
I
But-
still hold a grudge that y'all didn't have me on the Batman, but whatever.
Oh
made
well,
mistakes.
yeah. We kind of got harassed by the fan base to do that one. We were like, it's kind of on short. I kind of wanted to wait longer, but you know. Oh well. Anyway,
It's not,
Yeah, you'll get over it.
no,
we'll get you on the other Batman ones.
right now I'm going, ouch.
Are you like Peter when he just like stumbles? He's like, oh, oh.
Yeah, basically. Fucked up his whole shit. Exactly.
So Mary, is obviously kind of shocked at this. She's like, you guys kept you kept an alien from me, and two, now you both are laying there dying on my floor.
Like, I don't appreciate this shit.
But alright, you know, I love how everyone just quickly accepts it. Like, alright, this happened, I guess.
Oh, aliens are real.
But you know what? She sees the evidence right there. I can't blame. Like Carlton said, she sees the evidence right there. I can't blame you. But so they end up walking around. She's like, I gotta figure something out here. And then here comes these spacemen coming to the door, which is both kind of freaky, but it's also kind of hilarious at the same time.
I'm embarrassed that it low-key jump scared me. I was like, the fuck?
I'm like, you can't just wear regular hazmat suits. You could just wear,
Right.
just wear the hazmat suit. You don't have to wear the cosmonaut suits. Looks really weird, but whatever.
That's not even my thing. The thing is, y'all bitches didn't even knock. I opened up and y'all just say, surprise, motherfucker. I'm like, no. No knocking, no hey, we're here, throw your hands up, nothing. Put your hands in the air, wave like you don't care, or something.
Yeah, I love how when she carries him off, he goes, "He won't hurt you." And she's cold-blooded, Mom. You just leave the alien dying on the floor.
Like, fuck this thing.
I got a kid to save, and then the scientists end up showing up. The adults. I mean,
Dun, dun, dun.
Adults are bad.
yeah, I know. I was about to say, yeah, the adults are bad is kind of goofy, but you know what? It works. This is basically a modern fairy tale as it is. So
Yeah.
I'm not too concerned about it. Is my point. Sorry, my cat's with me.
With your astronaut shit and E.T. laying on the floor like he just came out of the ice box.
I know. He looks like he froze. He almost froze to death. You're like, oh god, it's terrible. So
He look like black folks when we ain't got no lotion on. We be ashy as shit.
so they end up getting invaded by these astronauts. It turns out these astronauts are the adults from earlier, and we end up meeting their leader, who's a guy who is only known as Keys. And you know what? He actually kind of seems like a cool guy. Why all the suspense, I don't know, but he actually seems like an alright guy. He's super nice to Elliott. He's like, look, we're trying to save his life. I've been waiting for this since I was like 10 years old. And then that makes me wonder, I'm like, wait, did E.T. visit this man as well, or is he just saying he's been waiting for aliens since he was 10 years old?
I was thinking that maybe he had seen him before, but then I thought, no, E.T. wouldn't be so curious, like, if anything Earth-related was familiar to him. So maybe he just, I don't know, maybe his family maybe have come to Earth, and this specific time is E.T.'s first time. Maybe they're familiar with them because they've seen parts of them, or they've seen something about them over time, but they don't make it clear on that part for me.
No.
They leave it kind of open and let you just make your own theories on what happened.
Yeah, I mean, my guess is that he's just saying he's been waiting for aliens since he was a kid in general, but, you never know with this type of movie. They never mention it again, but,
I just know that they got E.T. in a bubble and shit, and they gave me flashbacks.
Yeah, they basically set up camp in the house after... They basically set up camp in the house. So I'm like, alright, okay.
Gave me flashbacks, because I had to be in a bubble when I was a kid.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I had viruses on my intestines and shit. But see, the benefits at that time, my father was in the Army, so all that shit was covered. They had to force him to visit me because he didn't want to take off time. They said, no, this is the order. You have to go see your son because your wife and your other kid is in the hospital with them 16 hours of the day.
Damn, that's
he
rough.
Finally came in. But my thing, from what they said, I was a happy little guy. All I wanted was paper and pen so I could draw. But I was perfectly fine. But shit, if this don't make you think of the pandemic being in quarantine,
oh god,
28 years before the pandemic.
That's tough. Damn.
Yep. So me and E.T., we have a special bond if you haven't figured it out.
So the scientists, adult people, set up freaking camp in their house, and everyone's just like okay with it.
Well, okay with it as in like it's the government, we have no choice.
Yeah, no, pretty much that. I love how everyone's just hanging out at the house, as you do. They're just chilling and like something's going on over there.
Right.
I love how Michael's friend's just like something's going on over there. Don't know what it, and they're like super smug about it. it's like really, it's like oh god, childhood. So E.T. and Elliott are like chilling, and E.T.'s about to die, and it makes one of the saddest scenes in cinematic history. My aunt, to this day, has never seen E.T. again because this scene traumatized her as a child. As my grandma was fit to tell me. I don't know if she... I don't know how true that is, but as far as I know, she has never seen it again to this day. Because of this scene.
Damn.
But yes, E.T., as Carlton says, it basically, my interpretation is that he dies in air quotes, so that Elliott can live. He died for our sins, as he said before.
Yep.
Yep.
He died for our sins of putting him in drag. I died so you motherfuckers can dress me looking like old Betty.
Look like Betty White.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But I can see why this would be because I look back at it. I think for me, what makes it even sadder is seeing the kids cry.
Yeah. I cried at this scene. I think that's where my mom that's where my grandma told me that about my aunt. I remember crying with when E.T. died too. Like, that shit was really sad.
Because especially Drew's crying. She's acting so well. I don't know at that point if she's even acting or if she's so into this she thinks it's happening for real, and that's what breaks your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the child acting is so good.
Yeah, because she's 6 at this point, so she probably like Linda Blair in The Exorcist. She had the benefit of not believing in the devil or whatever. She knew about God or that, but to her, she didn't know like what she was saying half the time when she was possessed. So that made it easier for her to do. It was just the physical aspect that took a toll. But when you're watching this, you're like, I don't want to see adorable, sweet Drew Barrymore crying her eyes out. Like, this is bullshit. I feel some kind of way about it. I don't appreciate you. Got my baby crying and shit, and I'm here crying too. Who was the dick in the beginning of the movie? Even he's getting in his feelings about this. It's just like, damn.
You know, perhaps it goes back to your earlier point, but I'm actually kind of surprised that the government people are really chill about it. They're not like harassing everybody and being like, so what do you know about the alien?
Right. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it's, again, Spielberg playing with expectations, because you kind of expect it in these types of movies. But then again, I don't know how many government conspiracy movies were around in the 80s.
Not many. But you could also argue that maybe he would just like, yeah, no, I don't want to write that. I kind of want to speed past that shit and not do that trope. But then again, 1982, was it a trope yet?
Maybe, I don't know. And he just kind of, I'm surprised they're not like grilling the children and like the mom who's just like, I don't know anything about this. They were in a ghost car. I thought that was just a ghost car. I thought that she just, I thought she just got hyperventilated. Like, sorry, I don't know what to tell you, officer.
Like, well, what about the glowing finger? I don't know shit about that. I thought it was a flashlight. She kept saying, ouch. I thought my daughter fucks her shit up all the time. She stays saying, ouch.
My daughter's weird. It's fine. Like, she repeats everything we say. It's okay. And the cop would just be really frustrated with the whole situation. He's like, oh god, this is killing me.
Like, you know what? This is bullshit.
This is killing me. I'm going to die. I'm going to die now.
Well,
you're going to jail for being oblivious.
Wait a minute, officer. No, ignorance is bliss.
Yep.
Ignorance is a crime now. But
if only. Okay, I'll see you on 20. What you do for being ignorant as shit?
Being a doof. You didn't hear anything. She's like, well, she's like, you didn't hear him when he was saying B? She's like, my daughter's always doing weird voices. It's like, oh,
look, I got kids. You get used to the shit. You learn how to tune shit out.
Exactly.
Which that's another reason why I gave her a pass, because like it's probably a mom thing. Maybe it's just a mom thing to just ignore a lot of the shit that happens in the house.
Like, I'm a mom with 3 kids. Like,
I can't focus on their bullshit all day. I gotta pick my battles.
So please just cut me some slack, okay?
It's like, I recently got divorced from Harrison Ford, alright? It's been tough.
Damn.
It's like, alright, that's fair, I guess. But it's just like... Anyway, it's like, it's a flashlight. So, yeah, they're just chilling, and they're trying to save the alien's life, and I guess they want to study it? That's my only... I guess that's my...
Typical government shit.
Typical government stuff. They want to study the alien and see what it's all about. Wait, ethically, of course, because these aren't the bad government guys. These are the good government guys. Good government guys. Never thought I'd say that in a sentence.
Yeah, that's an oxymoron if I ever heard one.
Yep, absolutely.
What they say, like, no, he's the nice child predator.
He's the good ones. Don't worry.
He's the good guy. He's the good child predator.
But he's the funny racist.
Well, we do have Uncle Ruckus, so those do exist, but it's often we're laughing at him rather than with him. Yet then again, we're often laughing at Uncle Ruckus, so there you go.
Uncle Ruckus. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Wow, he's just a really... It's like saying that's a really progressive racist, He's a really... No, you don't hear that.
Yeah,
Nope.
Like Papa John's, when he got in trouble and he lost his company, he's like, he's saying he was trying to focus on not saying the N-word as much. Really? How does that help your case? So you're so into your vocabulary, you gotta help yourself to not say it.
Well, I don't feel too bad. They already make shitty pizza as it is.
Yeah, better agree this my ass.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? We're gonna replace you. We're gonna put a big black motherfucker on your pizza. Shaq, come in here. Yeah, get back to E.T. They're studying him, or they want to.
They're like trying to, and then he just dies, and everyone's really sad. I'm especially just really saddened by Drew Barrymore's reaction.
Yeah. It's like heart crushing.
Yeah, it's sad seeing kids cry. Like, if you don't get sad by seeing... If you don't at least feel something when kids cry, like, you might just be a sociopath. But I digress. I digress.
Especially when they're as cute as her. Like, come on now.
I know, right? Like, how can you not cry when Drew Barrymore is a little kid crying? Like, it breaks my heart every time I watch it.
And, well, Elliott just recovers, so I'm guessing that E.T., like, goes into, like, Odin sleep so that Elliott will live?
Probably.
Don't know.
That's my guess.
Don't know, but that's my guess, and that's the best I can do, so... If any, like, real hardcore E.T. fans want to, like, comment below and tell me how wrong I am, feel free, because I don't know what to give this. Elliott gets carried away, and he's like, "You're killing him!" And they're, like, trying to revive E.T., and it's just, like, really sad.
Oh.
You're like, oh, God. And Michael ends up discovering that the flowers that E.T. had revived previously, they are dying again.
Then they carry him off in a cryogenic-looking tube thing. I don't even know what to call it.
Yeah, it's like a...
Am I supposed to call it his coffin?
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
So Keyes, just, again, being, like, a very eerily nice government guy, which is almost oxymoronic, like I mentioned earlier, is like, hey... I know you like DT, even though I barely know you, and just, like, invaded your house and all that. But you can say goodbye to ET if you want to. I'm like, okay.
I'll give you 5 minutes.
He's like, I'll give you 5 minutes. And Elliott gives a very heartfelt goodbye. And this is probably Henry Thomas's best performance in the movie. Well, aside from the end.
Oh yeah.
Oh, by far, yeah.
And he's like, I love you.
This is the part he auditioned for that got him the role, because he made the people in the audition room cry.
I was about to say, like, have you seen the audition tape he did? It's great.
I did. I saw it earlier this year when they were first promoting that it was the 40th anniversary of E.T. They were showing it, I think, on Extra or something. Like, saying, you may have not seen this, and then they showed it. I was like, oh, I never saw that. Okay, yeah, I would probably hire you too. You made me cry in the audition. and like I said, he was like 10 at the time. And he said, when they asked him, what made you, what did you think of when you was doing that? He's like, he was just picturing his dog dying.
Yeah, I know. I've heard the story. I'm like, damn, it's sad.
Like, man. But hey, it worked out for the best because he really carried this scene.
Yeah, he's great. Like, again, Spielberg really gets kids very well. Don't know how.
He really does.
Because sometimes it's hard to write kids, but he gets them. And apparently he filmed it in chronological order, so it would feel more real. And I actually think that was a good choice, because, yeah.
That's the way to do it, especially with children.
Yeah, you don't want to, like, do it in order, and they're just like, well, why? What are we doing?
Why are we doing this scene when we just did that scene? Like,
it doesn't make any sense. The script.
It can be a little jarring when you're doing the schedule of a movie, because there's so many things to factor: the schedule of the actors, what set is built already. Like, there's times where you'll see the beginning of the movie, and they say, "Oh no, we filmed that last." You're like, okay, like, or they filmed it separate because of whatever. But me personally, I don't know. That's just me. Me personally, I would like to film in chronological order, so I know what's going on. And if we think of something later that we can put in the beginning, cool. But it makes it way easier for me to follow what we're doing.
Yeah, it's more consistent. Just doing it chronologically.
And this movie's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
With the shots, with the continuity of the characters, it's not often you'll see Steven Spielberg with something and it's not consistent.
Oh no! Even his lesser movies have something to like about him.
Yeah, and if there's something that is inconsistent, it's so minor you don't even care.
Yeah, exactly.
And we were mentioning the writing. I'm looking up right now. The writer of this, Melissa Matheson.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she was the one that wrote this. She also wrote Twilight.
What?
Not the shitty one. Twilight Zone.
Oh, okay.
No,
That would have been a shock.
No, she wrote Twilight Zone. She wrote Kundun. She wrote quite a few other big movies in the 80s. But she was a constant collaborator with Steven and all that. And she's won an Academy Award for her writing, but she passed in 2015, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. It's like...
But this was her biggest thing that she had written up to that point. And because she wrote this, that's when she got the other big stuff she got later down the line. So, she was the one, I think she was one of the people that was in the room when Elliott was auditioning. She was one of the people in the room. I think she's the one that you can hear in the video. You don't see her, but you can see her off screen. I think she's the one that she's talking to him.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard. I mean, I've only made a couple of, like, kind of crappy short movies, but from what I've heard from people who know a lot more about filmmaking than I do, it can be very hard working with kids.
Yeah, kids and dogs.
Yeah, what's the old saying? Never work with kids or animals,
That, and also don't work in snow, which they broke that rule in Star Wars too.
Oh, God.
It's hard to work in snow, and they were in I can't say that word. Iceland, basically. They were in Iceland when they filmed it.
Ooh.
But they couldn't get out of the hotel to shoot, but Mark Hamill was out there by himself, essentially, while they filmed it.
Oh, no.
They needed snow trucks to be able to remember where they were so no one would get lost. And they had like 3 snow trucks. If they didn't have that, they would have been fucked.
No wonder Mark Hamill looked like shit in The Empire Strikes Back at the very beginning of the movie. He was out there in the snow. Ooh.
That and he was recovering from a car accident.
Oh, yeah. I always forget about that.
Like, damn. Like, you better have paid him good for that shit.
They better have. It's like, come on, man. Anyway, so Elliott gives a tearful goodbye and tells E.T. that he loves him before he ends up closing the case. But for some reason, because, this is like a modern fairy tale, basically. Because the power of love, I guess, again, more cynical part of me would be like, that's kind of dumb. But this movie does it so sincerely. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll deal with this.
Right. It's like your standards are high, but at the same time, your standards are low. You're like, I'm not expecting it to be like. It's groundbreaking, not in the sense that they tried to be. They were groundbreaking because everything they did in the movie was just sincere.
Yeah.
And you were already invested in E.T. by that point. If that's what it took for him to come back, you were okay with it. You're
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
Okay, E.T.'s alive. That's all we
good
cared
enough for
about.
me.
Because we love this alien so much. We don't care how he comes back to life.
We're like, yes!
I spent an hour and 30 minutes of my time in this shit. You better not kill him off.
He's like, yes! Power of love! It's like the Huey Lewis song.
I was about to say, imagine if they played the Huey Lewis
Oh
song.
God, I think that would have I think honestly that would have kind of ruined it, but yeah.
Well, clearly I'm joking, but honestly, I would have loved that just to have a good laugh.
It's like they did a Care Bear, where they shoot the power of love out their chest and shit.
So, his heart begins to, glow, because I guess they can do that. And Elliott notices that the flower is once again coming back to life. And he opens the case, and there's E.T. He's like, Elliott. He's like, I'm back.
Yeah!
Seeing Elliott's reaction genuinely just puts a smile on my face, where he just shouts in glee.
Yeah, I know. It's like in the commercial when he realizes E.T.'s when older, Elliott realizes he's back, and that just joy. That just touches my heart,
I was like that's a throwback.
That's so good.
That's exactly how I would react if I were a child and my friend came back to life, an alien. So yeah.
I love how Elliott goes from, yes, you're alive, to shut up, we're trying to help you. He zips him back up.
I love you. I love you too, but shut up.
He's like, I got the home phone. Let's get going. We need to bounce. And
Clearly, since E.T. can bounce or hop.
More like a waddle, but I'll deal with it.
You know what? I'm actually looking. I mean, it's on mute. But I'm looking at the commercial that they did of E.T., the holiday reunion.
Mm-hmm.
I want a freaking sequel.
I've thought about getting a sequel, but I'm like, I hope it's like Top Gun. Get people who really care about it, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, have Steven Spielberg as the producer or something related to it. Have Elliott be a dad. Michael's their uncle, and the sister's the aunt. He's got kids. The mom is whatever, and the kids are discovering the ET for the first time, and he doesn't know what's going on. But when he finds out that the alien's there, it's the big reunion.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed. If you have someone that gives a fuck, like you got to get someone that knows ET up, down, sideways, inside out, like a prostate exam.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I don't trust it because you're gonna fuck it up.
God.
Because you get people that don't care about franchises, you get fan force shit.
Oh God.
Bring that shit up.
Do you want to set Jacob off during this wholesome review? Like, come on.
No, if I'm going to set him off, I would bring back Herpy Goblin.
Ooh.
God.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, face ache, yeah.
Ooh.
Like, give me a kiss, baby. Hell no.
He ugly ass away from me.
Ooh. So, anyways, E.T. comes back, and E.T. is like, hey, my people are returning. We should probably get going. So Elliott's like, shh. He, zips him up. He puts him in the van. And, oh, yeah, I love how he fake cries. And the guy's like, it's all right, son.
Like, Elliott, you little scammer.
It's like what Michael says earlier. It's like, you little faker. Again, like a kid would. So he rolls them out, and they roll him out, and then turns out they managed to somehow get Michael to drive, which, oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh boy. He's like, I don't know how to go and drive. I don't know how to go forward. It's like, this guy's, he's like, God, we're gonna die.
I think, is it me? It is me, but is it me, or is it weird to just see E.T.'s just chest all exposed and shit?
I know, it's really weird. It's like, oh.
It's like kind of creepy. I mean, it's cool visually, but it's like the reality. Wait a minute, his chest is open. Y'all couldn't fix that. Y'all couldn't do something. Just let it be out in the open, pumping and glowing.
So
I always thought it was cool looking, so I just gave it a pass.
It's cool looking, don't get me wrong, but the reality of it is kind of eerie.
Yeah.
Like, you gonna send me back to my people with my shit open and shit? You're not even gonna sew me up, nothing? Then you come back and I'm missing a penis. But, like, this is not how I rock it.
Jesus Christ, Carl. That is the question.
That's, of course, the question I asked when I'm watching this. Yeah.
How do the aliens have sex? E.T.'s kind. Probably the finger.
You know, have you guys ever seen Scary Movie 3?
I was thinking that.
I was about to say, have you guys seen Scary Movie 3? And the guys are like, this is how we pee. And he, like, out their fingers. It's like in Charlie Sheen's mouth. It's like, oh, God.
You can't.
No, I have a question to say. Why would you let them stick their finger in your mouth?
You probably didn't know they could pee out of it, but yeah.
Imagine if he peed in his mouth.
So basically, you got your dick out 24/7 is what you're saying. You got dick on your hands. I have so many questions on aliens in general.
Anyway, so we get some. So they end up escaping, and Michael tells his boys, like, hey, meet at the park in like 5 minutes. So they drive over there, and I love how they all like get all their stuff on. Like, C. Thomas Howell puts his like mask on. He looks like jihadist.
Right.
We have the other guy with his like headphones and his sunglasses, and the other guy, I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I like it because they think they're so cool. This is really funny. So then we get the climactic chase scene, and oh boy, is there a lot to talk about.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
I just have to say, one of the most iconic scenes in movie history. At least to me it is.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know why, but the whole sequence is just like, it's so exciting, but at the same time, it's so funny.
Oh, yeah. It's like, there's a ridiculousness to it, but at the same time, it gets your heart pumping, you know?
Yeah, it's like, it's so good, it's so well executed. It's just like...
Like, if it wasn't done as good as it was, it easily could have been a falling point for the third act. But you can tell they were like, okay, look, this is the lead up to the big thing. We gotta like really plan this out and plan it out well. And you can tell that they did.
Oh yeah.
But, and to know that, and like I said, they just pulled a freaking string up on the bikes to do this. You're like, you know what? It makes me appreciate practical so much more. Because a lot of physical work, because that's what practical is. It's physical work. It's physical filming, physical effects. So it's a lot of time and effort that to go through this, a lot of planning. But that also is credit to the people behind it that knew we can't just do so-and-so just because we can. No. When we do this, how is it going to affect the product? How is it going to elevate this moment in the scene? So you can tell the people working on this care just as much as for the story as pulling off the effect or the stunt that they were trying to pull off for this.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, you can tell that they were very careful. because they cared.
Yeah, I mean, they're biking around. They're trying to find ways around. They end up getting to the park and they end up getting on their bike. Somehow they manage to get Elliott's bike back. Then we see the return of Ave Maria, E.T., and they're driving around on their bikes, and the cops are chasing them, and the government people are chasing them, and it's chaotic. And I just have to mention the music in this scene. Ugh.
Yes.
Some of John Williams' best work.
Phenomenal.
Like, not even being ironic.
It's scores like this that makes me wonder if you had to debate what movie had the best John Williams score, you would be sitting there for hours.
I know.
You probably wouldn't even have a decision at the end of it.
Mine would either be the Star Wars films or Indiana Jones or E.T. Hell, even Jaws. Like, so many iconic stuff has come from him. Harry Potter, Superman, this movie, E.T., Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Saving Private Ryan. So many of them.
He did
Jurassic Park, thank you. What?
He did Saving Private Ryan?
I think he did.
What the fuck? Hold up. I gotta look it up.
Oh, yes he did. I'm like, yes he did.
I'll be damned.
I was about to say, like, him and Spielberg are like, they're like the homies. Like, they're bros.
Like, no wonder that movie fucked with me. Oh my god. Damn, now I'm gonna rewatch that shit and cry knowing why I'm crying this time.
What other movies has he done? He's done Catch Me If You Can. He did Schindler's List.
Jacob brought it back to me. I haven't seen it, I have to admit.
You have to. It is so good.
That's one of his underrated ones, if you ask me.
At some point, I will make an attempt to see it because I want to see. Because I'm curious now. Because like I said, I've seen pretty much almost everything Steven has done, but I've not seen that. I've heard about it. But
John Williams also did Minority Report.
Oh, he did. Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, you told me about that. I haven't seen that one either.
So underrated. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even know Tom Cruise was in it until you said something.
I mean, yeah, Tom Cruise is kind of a nut, but he's a good actor.
Yeah. He's something.
I love Carlton's response. He's like, ew.
like in the middle of that, some fucker was gonna come out. I'm like, nah, just keep it neutral. Keep it neutral. Like I said, he's weird. He's weird as fuck.
Oh yeah, Jaws.
Things. Yeah.
Well, Tom Cruise wasn't in Jaws, but John Williams did do Jaws.
Yeah, John Williams, he did it. Yeah, I know that. That's the first thing I ever saw of Steven Spielberg.
Same for me. I was about to say Jaws was also a film I loved as a kid, even though it was like super violent. I liked dark things when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was PG when it came out.
Well, yeah.
But it's funny though how people reacted to it when Jaws came out the first time. You know, beaches were trying to sue Steven Spielberg
because people were so scared of going out in the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh, he did the Home Alone films. I totally forgot he did the Home Alone movies.
Oh yeah, he didn't he?
Who, Steven?
He did Close Encounters too. This man has just done so many iconic films. It's ridiculous.
Wait. Who did Home Alone?
Who did who?
You said someone did Home Alone.
Oh, John Williams did Home Alone.
Oh, okay.
Both
I'm
of
about to
them.
say, wait, hold on. Steve didn't do that shit.
No.
Okay, yeah, John did that. Yeah. No, Home Alone is the guy that did the movie Rent.
Oh, did he do Rent? I didn't know he did
The
Rent.
director of Home Alone, yeah, he did the movie Rent in 2005.
But I have to say, E.T. might be some of John Williams' best work, especially at the end. Or this climactic scene in the end of the movie. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Oh god, it's phenomenal.
Honestly, the scene could have worked even if it wasn't as hard as it was. But because it goes so hard on that scene, on the emotion of it.
Apparently Spielberg thought it slapped so hard, he edited the scene to make it work. Like, there you go. Magic of John Williams right there.
Hell
Because
yeah.
you don't waste John Williams. When you got John Williams, you're like, okay, let me fix my shit. Hold on, I got you.
Even when he got mediocre shit, John Williams will just. It's like Hans Zimmer. That dude, even if you get him on like a okay movie, he will make the score just like that.
Yep.
Man, it's gonna suck when he retires.
I know.
Hell, you could probably say Zimmer is the new. I bet you could say Zimmer is the modern John Williams without actually being John Williams.
Yeah, I can see it in the sense of like, yeah, that's a you know.
Maybe him and
he's,
Giacchino.
Like, up there, but like I know you're not comparing the two, but it's like for a lot of people like, well, no, John Williams is on a whole different level. Look, Hans Zimmer and John Williams, I can say is in the top 5 greatest movie composers of all time. And anyone who disagrees, fight me.
Oh yeah, I would also put Danny Elfman on that list. I love Danny Elfman quite a bit.
He's definitely up there for me.
Yeah, he's up there. I mean, just like I ignore his stuff in Justice League, but because of the situation.
Oh yeah.
But if you say, hey, how many iconic pieces has he given me? I could name 3 on the top of my head.
Spider-Man, Batman.
Just Nightmare Before Christmas. He even sang in that movie.
Yeah.
Men in Black, like
Hans Zimmer did Shark Tales.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, no, Hans Zimmer surprises me because I'll look up some movies he's done and I'll be like, wow, he did that, and I'm like, oh, okay.
He did that, and he did Lion King with Elton John.
Oh yeah, that I mean.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't. I'm like, how the fuck y'all know?
Oh, he did Pirates of the... I forget he did Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Also iconic score.
I actually have a soft spot for the Pirates movies.
I used to until they fucked over Johnny.
I'm only talking about the first 3. The other couple, they didn't happen. I'm just putting that out there.
I haven't seen the last. What was the one after Dead Man's Chest?
At World's End.
I didn't see that.
That was a solid one.
That one and the ones I did after that, I have not seen.
World's End is good, but the rest of them are...
The other ones you could skip, 4 and 5.
Yeah, the ones where the actor who plays Nightwing in the Titan show, he's in one of them. I have not seen that one.
He's in the 5th one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Even Dune. I thought Dune was, like, okay, but his score in that was...
Yeah, boo!
Mwah. Like, bruh. Tell me that Hans Zimmer Dune score didn't fucking slap.
Oh, the House Atreus theme, I've had that on replay maybe 16 times.
I think he also did he did the Wonder Woman theme. That shit is fucking awesome. Oh.
Well, he did that with Tina Wu.
Yeah, her too. She's great. I love that theme.
So the fact that he came back to do 84, I was like, okay, I'm excited to see him. I'm like, what is he going to add to it? But he's like, I got you. Here's the theme, Themyscira. I'm like, oh, well, pardon the fuck out of me. I'm sorry, Mr. Zimmer. Please continue.
Keep going, Zimmer. You're doing fine.
I'm sorry. I'll never doubt you again. I'm sorry, sir.
And of course, the Dark Knight theme is iconic as
Oh
well.
God, yes.
Yeah.
His Joker theme. Oh, one of the best.
Like we can nitpick on the trilogy, but the music itself, you can't touch it.
No, it's flawless.
Oh my God, yes.
Perfect the way it is.
Oh, he also did Kung Fu Panda. At least Kung Fu Panda 3.
Oh, they got a new one coming out too.
I actually enjoy those movies. Like, it took me a while to really appreciate the Kung Fu Panda movies, but now I love them.
I saw the show. I don't remember seeing the movies.
They're so underrated. I've always liked them.
So I'm hoping that the new one will be on that level of the show.
He has done some heathen Ron Howard films, but I'll forgive you for that one.
You don't like Ron Howard?
Well, it's complicated. It's Facebook complicated, you know.
Oh Lord.
it's on Facebook. It's complicated. That's the best way I can describe the movie. He made a movie called "It's Complicated." He also composed.
Yeah, that's Ron Howard.
But yeah, that's Ron Howard. Going back to John Williams though, E.T., his score in this movie, oh, great. Especially this part of the movie is just amazing.
It's phenomenal work, as usual, from John Williams.
If you don't know any other scene, you have to know this part.
It's just like, oh, it's so good. And then he's biking, and then the cops start, like, they make a blockade, and he's, like, riding, he's like, oh, shit, what are we gonna do? And it's like, E.T., do something, and then Ave Maria E.T., Jesus style, lifts them all up in a blaze of glory. I literally got goosebumps. Again. I bet you it's because of the music. I'm telling you right now.
Hell yeah.
I'm telling you right now. I had goosebumps, my friends.
It is definitely the music, for sure.
It was just like, oh, yes.
And then, and I love how Williams is great for this. I think some people may overlook. As good as he is at making the music loud and explosive and dynamic, he knows when to take it down. And knows when to rise it back up again.
Yes.
So that part where they're specific when they're hugging and they're having that moment, the music's not loud and overbearing. It's quiet. And only when after he's going back on the ship, the music is like kind of rising with him. And like I said, the music is like another character. It's like the narrator of the movie that knows just when to pop it.
Oh, yeah.
The score is just as important.
Like, when you're doing a Batman movie, Gotham is another character. You gotta have that just as... Because if you don't have that, a good foundation, Batman's movie ain't gonna work. For E.T., the foundation was the music.
Oh, yes. But, bro, that John Williams music is just so good. Oh, my God. So good. Especially here. It is just outstanding. I can't say it enough.
Making me cry and shit. Like, really, I went back and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't approve. I approve that he has to go home, but I don't approve because I'm so invested. I don't want you to fucking leave.
No.
And as he wobbles his little cute ass back onto his ship.
I can't help myself. Can't help. I'm holding back tears.
I know.
Every penguin I see, I'm gonna think of you, damn it. With your happy feet ass.
Like, damn it, Spielberg. Damn it, John Williams. Why are you tugging at my heartstrings? I shouldn't be feeling emotions.
Because this is what we do, baby.
Yep.
That's the magic of movies, man. If I ever had like a top 10, that's just the magic of movie moments. This would definitely be on there, high on the list. Up there with like Star Wars, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just like, oh god. So then we get to the finale of the movie, which is also just phenomenal. Again, it would be kind of silly if they didn't play it as well as they did.
Right.
It would, like, if it were someone else making it, it could have come off as really melodramatic and kind of dumb. But
Yeah,
again,
they would have treated it that way in their directing. But Steven's like put so much care behind it. He's like, nah, I need to put love behind it. So, yeah, I couldn't imagine anyone. Who else could have done E.T. other than Spielberg?
I don't know.
Spielberg is the only person who could have done E.T. Honestly.
I honestly have no idea who could have done. It's like a magical thing, you know. It's like E.T., like Spielberg. Who else?
Tarantino. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
Foot shots everywhere. Alien foot shots.
E.T. would have died on the table, and then blood would have unwittingly splattered all over the damn place. Samuel Jackson would have came in here like saying "motherfucker this, motherfucker that." A lot of feet shots.
Probably would have had like the mom and like probably would have had the kids just talking about random shit for like 5 minutes, and you're like, this is so fucking weird.
No, if Quentin did this, the kid would have put his finger in her butt.
He's like, this is what it feels like. Ooh.
It's all squishy.
Christ.
If E.T. died and they like tried, I bet QT couldn't help himself. Walk over and just like he tried to cut into him, and some blood would like splatter everywhere, and it would just traumatize the child.
Oh God, now I kind of want to see it. E.T. 2, Quentin Tarantino.
Oh my God. Or maybe he'll surprise me and make something like completely wholesome. Like I don't know, but I'm not sure.
Who knows?
Yeah, fucking right.
But I highly doubt it, knowing Tarantino.
He'll make it as wholesome as a church girl and a Mormon with a Mormon family.
Yep.
So, anyways, they go near the spaceship, and E.T.'s heart glows yet again as he prepares to return home. And Mary, Gertie, and the scientist guy who's called Keys shows up, and they're all just standing there, just in complete awe of the situation. I'm surprised the cops didn't just pull out guns and start shooting, because that's kind of what cops do nowadays.
Yep. Oh, triggered.
Oh, whoops! Sorry, he had a firearm. But he had a plant. He's like,
he was naked. He had a weapon. What? Hit the meaty thing between his legs?
Anyway.
But no, seeing this scene, I have to say, yeah, the music is awesome and all that other stuff. But I also want to, especially Jacob and I, we're whores when it comes to cinematography.
Hell yeah.
Oh, sir.
Like, I feel like, I feel like that has to get some recognition in this video. Basically, every shot was pretty much beautiful.
Oh yeah, especially with the like moon and when they're flying up in the. When they're flying up. Now, when they're flying up and the sun's going down, it does look kind of dated to me anyway, but it still looks good. Like, it still looks good. I'm probably going to get assassinated for saying that, but you know what?
Which you should.
Yeah.
It still looks good. It still looks good. I'm just saying.
No, like, when I saw it in theaters, like, just from the opening, the movie's beautifully shot, especially the scenes at night. Like, for me, it's, like, hard to, like, pull off scenes at night where they look good. But for some reason, Spielberg, they were able to pull it off, making it look gorgeous.
It's like with Close Encounters.
To me, is the equivalent of Darth Vader's "I am your father."
Yes.
It easily could have been cheesy, but because of the way it's executed in the context, they're part of pop culture.
Oh boy, do you want me to go on a tirade about how they made Star Wars? Like, let me tell you, I got some thoughts.
Because I've seen the trilogy on how they made the movies like 10 times while I was writing my script. Yeah, I feel like I need to talk to somebody about how they made these 3 movies. Especially with the I'm your father line. Like, oh, Mark, by the way, before you start filming, he's your daddy. Wait, what? And action. Wait a minute, what the fuck?
He's like, he's your father!
It's impossible!
I wonder if that was just his take and they just shouted at him that it's your father and he's like, what?
By the
That's
way, Vader's your
impossible.
father. What? In action.
I mean, essentially, that's basically what they did. Only the director, George, and the writer knew the real ending. They had a fake ending written. Before he films it, he says, look, this is what he's really going to say. So just react to that. And he was like, okay. And he did. Then when they went to go to James Earl Jones to record the lines, even he said, he's lying. How are they going to play that out? Then he saw the movie and he was like, oh no, they were serious. But that secret was more guarded than the Pope's virginity. Only certain people were allowed access to that ending of the script. No one knew it until it came out. Then when it came out, Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford looked at Mark and they said, did you know this? He was like, I couldn't tell y'all. And the movie came out, I think, like 6 months after they finished. So for half a year, he had to hold on to that secret.
Oh my god, it must have been a nightmare waiting for Return of the Jedi.
It was.
Oh god. Yeah.
It wasn't even going to be called that originally. Did you know that?
Were they gonna call it like Revenge of the Jedi?
Yeah, it was gonna be Revenge of the Jedi because the guy thought it was a weak title. But here's the thing: George changed it a week before the movie came out. He said Return, and they said, "Why are you going back to that title?" He says because he realized a Jedi doesn't seek revenge. And after the whole the way he edited it, where the score comes in and it's the Skywalker theme for when Darth is being burned, basically saying he's the Jedi that returned. He returned to being a Jedi. That's when George had that epiphany. He went back and changed it back.
Anyway,
I'm thankful that he changed it because it makes better sense.
but
Him saying "I'm your father" is what the moon scene E.T. is. You just accept it because of what it means, but it easily could be one of the corniest shit if you're not careful.
oh yeah, I mean, if someone else were directing this, it would just come off as really goofy or melodramatic. But again, they play it so well, and that music from John Williams, like this is like this and like his Yoda theme from like when he lifts the thing out of when he lifts the X-wing out of the swamp. Like that's some of John Williams' best work. I just have to say.
Oh hell yeah!
I don't think we can talk about the music as enough. Because, like, I know we sound like, we're beating a dead horse, but it's just amazing how music can really impact the scene. Because if they had done that scene quiet, okay,
It wouldn't be as effective.
It wouldn't have been. I mean, I feel like the actor would have had some juice to it, but it's always better when you get more than what you bargained for in the good way. And Williams came in here sneaking into the scene like, "Oh, don't worry, I got y'all," and then just adds in the crescendo, and you're like, you realize halfway your face is dripping from tears, and you realize, my God, yeah, this is the moment where they had to have known we got another hit on our hands.
Yeah, I if I were Spielberg, I would have cried, like a bitch, like unapologetically. Weeping.
I'm about to get my Oscar.
Like, thank you, John. You're my best friend.
It's like the same thing when you see the like if George Lucas saw the first Star Wars film for the first time with that music, I would have cried. Like really, I would have like tears.
I wish George could have enjoyed it. He was so damn stressed. He didn't even have time to sink it in until the movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
Poor thing. And because of Steven, he even got John to begin with because he didn't have a composer. Steven was like, "What? I can get John for you." He's like, "You can?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, cool, bet."
The Bam, one of the most iconic scores of all time, just casually. But
like, thank you, Jaws.
It's like same thing with E.T. Just oh god, so good. I love it. And E.T. just like looks at the yeah, Drew Barrymore gives him a little kiss. And you're like, oh, and then he like points and says, "Be good."
Please, especially you, little one. Don't dress nobody else in fucking drag.
and then Michael comes over. It's weird because he just kind of like pets him, and then he just like looks at him, and then that's it. Like,
I mean, yeah, that's all he earns. You're all right. You're all right, little one.
It's like, you've been all right, Carlton.
Fuck you. And your mother, too.
and then Elliott comes over, and he's fucking bawling, and E.T. just embraces Elliott. They have like a little hug, and you're just like, oh, why? You're gonna like why don't you just rip my heart out, Spielberg and John Williams, while you're at it? Just stomp on it.
God damn it.
I mean, we all can look like E.T. with our chest open at this point.
Oh God, yeah. Yes. And then he says, "I'll be right here." And I actually thought he pointed at his heart. No, he points at his head. I'm like, oh wow, it's Mandela effect. Oops. No. So good thing I watched it again, because I would have looked like a fucking idiot if I said he pointed at his heart.
I mean, I thought he did too.
You two would have bullied me. Yeah, you two would have bullied me over that one. I was like, Okay.
No, we'll save that for when we talk about Matrix.
Oh God. Oof.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun one. Definitely get Carlton out for that one.
That's gonna be tough. Like I'm gonna be like, I don't like this movie, but
Be a bloodbath.
it's gonna
You might as well bring the lube.
it's gonna be a shootout.
No lube, just dry.
Oh.
Damn,
Not even like a spit.
not even. I'm gonna say not even a courtesy spit.
Nope, dry.
What is this, a frat house?
Yes, sir, it is.
So he ends up. So E.T. ends up picking up the flowers, because I think Gertie gives it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
I think, yeah.
And Elliott's mom is just crying, and Keys is like standing there. He's like, "You want to go on a date after this?"
I could have been the only one that thought that.
I know. I'm like, I get the feeling he's like, yo, you want to go on a date after this? Even though I kind of invaded your house, and you know,
Shit. The kids need a daddy.
and you know, I might have traumatized your child, your children. And he ends up waddling to his spaceship, and he like waves back at him, and it's like really sad. And then everyone watches the ship take off, and then it leaves a rainbow in the sky.
And that's where rainbows come from.
Yes.
Yes.
Literally, I actually almost got up and clapped. Like, it was just like, such a great ending.
I did when I saw it in theaters. I clapped. Everybody else did, so.
I don't blame you. I would have clapped at the end of that if, I've been like, yes. Ha-ha!
Just once I want to be in the theater shouting and screaming with everyone else and not feel like I'm the only one doing it.
I remember seeing The Phantom Menace again in theaters, and I just no enthusiasm from anybody. I just remember that. Not even like the cool parts, like the lightsaber fight. No one was like excited.
Look, the closest I've ever come to sharing a moment in theaters with the audience is when I saw Black Panther. And the funny thing was, when they were screaming Yabambe, well, not Yabambe, the stuff that M'Baku was screaming. I'm like, there's a lot of white folks shouting in unison with this stuff, huh? Because I went to a theater where it's fancy as shit.
Mm-hmm.
You can drink alcohol. I mean, I don't drink, but you can order wine. You got the barbecue chicken. You got they serve you in dishes like the white, breakable bowls dish, like the fancy good shit, with the nice cups and the nice food. I'm like, oh my god, it's a theater bar and grill type of thing. And when you're ordering, you have like a little tablet thing, and they come out and they're in like, looking like waiters. It's fancy as shit. I was like, no wonder the food is $14, $15, but it's worth it to get this kind of service. Goddamn.
It's weird that they sell alcohol now, because now in another odd crossover with Family Guy, the episode where Brian gets fucking wasted, where Brian and Peter get wasted at the movie theater.
Yeah. And I've got the sore finger. I don't give a fuck. I got bigger problems.
And Joe comes in, he's like, "Hey guys, you gotta calm down." He's like, "No,
Like,
this
what
guy's
the hell,
talking
Peter?
shit." They're watching The Sound of Music too. I'm like, oh god. Then he crashes through the. I think that's the one where they go to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yep.
That's actually a good episode.
Don't mess with Mr. Booze. Yep.
Yeah. But yes, this is the end of E.T. Great film. Goes,
Amazing film.
clap, yes.
Incredible.
Amazing. Still holds up very well all these years later. So, Spielberg, John Williams, pat yourselves on the back.
Like, man, 40 years.
Yeah.
I know.
I saw it in theaters. Man.
I know, it's been 40 years. That reminds me, we need to talk about Godfather at some point, because it's also its 50-year anniversary this year.
Oh God, yes.
Yes, it is.
I forgot about that. Because this is how I know. At this point, this is how I know you're my friend. Because now, when I do watch Godfather, Goodfellas, or watch The Sopranos, guess who comes to my mind now? I'm like, I wonder what Britton's doing right now. Britton comes to my mind now whenever I watch Goodfellas, Sopranos, especially Sopranos, because Britton was watching Sopranos and like going episode by episode what was going on. I'm like, wait, is that on season 4? He's like, yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, trust me, I know that episode. Or he was watching Goodfellas, or when I told him that, rest in peace, Ray Liotta had passed away. That one was a hard one.
Yeah, that was tough.
That one was like, oh my god, because he's the youngest one in the cast. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, Robert De Niro would die before him. That sucks,
Right. And then the guy who played their boss, he passed away like a month later.
Yeah, that was a big suck.
I was like, son of a bitch. We got that. We got Tony from The Sopranos, who played Paulie. This is bullshit.
It's been kind of a shitty year for kind of a shitty year for people dying.
Yeah. They got James Caan.
Oh, that one got me the most, honestly.
That alone is why I need to go back and actually look at The Godfather, just so I can watch that. Watch him in it, beating the shit out of Sonny. In his purple salmon-ass suit, whatever the fuck Sonny was wearing when he was getting the shit beat out of him. Yeah, Sonny. What was the name of the guy who was beating up the sister?
Carlo, I think.
Carlo? It's with a C. Yeah, I think it's Carlo. Yeah, whatever Carlo was wearing, it's an ugly-ass suit. That's my point. He's getting his ass beat and getting his fingers bit, and the kids just playing in the water. They're just looking on like, okay. And that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he got it easy. It's like, don't tell me you're innocent. Like, here, go in the car and die and kick out the weak ass window shield for some reason that easily breaks.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point we will watch. I hope y'all have y'all for when we watch Godfather.
I will.
I gotta find like 9-10 hours of my time to watch the trilogy, but
at least the first one I'd like to do this year since it's like 50 years now. It's ridiculous.
But still, I need 3 hours for that. Because like they're basically the same length as Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I know. And as
like,
good.
I got 9 hours to kill on this flight. What do you want to watch? Well, let's watch the Godfather trilogy. Shit, okay.
Like Lord of the Rings. Wait, when did Jaws come out then? Hold on. What was the...
Late 70s.
I know it was the late 70s.
1975.
Yep, 2 years before Star Wars.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I knew it was before Star Wars because that's how Steven got him for George. Because they had just worked with each other. But I couldn't remember if it was 75 or 76.
Also, dude gave the fucking baller theme to Superman.
You pretty much can hum that anywhere and they know. Oh, that's Superman.
Yeah, that's Superman. So iconic. If you were to ask me what's the most iconic John Williams score, I couldn't. Too many.
I know, there's too many. It's too many.
For me, it's a tie between Superman and Star Wars. Those are my top two for him. Because I think they've hit in pop culture the hardest. That's probably why.
That's true.
For me. Like, literally, you can do the Star Wars theme, and you can hum it. Everyone will know. Oh, that's Star Wars. Or Superman. Oh, that's Superman. It's hard for some people to know Indiana Jones when you're humming it. Like, what the fuck is that?
Exactly.
Now, if you have a hat on, then they'll say, oh, you're in Indiana Jones. The hat will give it away. Well, Jaws is so easy. If you don't know that one, you're special.
Yeah. You're a fucking idiot, that's what you are.
Because, bet, y'all be in the pool or in the tub or whatever, and you're, like, nose level in the water. You have done that before.
Who hasn't? Like,
I love Jaws. Great film.
I actually saw it in theaters.
Yeah, I heard that it came out again. What'd you think of that?
Oh, the experience was great, especially seeing it IMAX. Actually, I do have a funny story, though.
Okay.
When I was going to the theater, there was this family walking out, because they thought it was like a remake, and literally the mom said, "Oh, I thought it was a remake of Jaws. This is actually the one from 1975." I'm like, "Yeah, bitch!" Like it literally says Jaws 1975. It's not Jaws 2022.
Wait a minute. Plus, like, if they made a new Jaws, you would have known.
Yeah, it would have been all over the place. The marketing, trailers. No, they are just re-releasing the original Jaws. It's not a remake, you dumbass.
And it's kind of hard to do a shark movie where people give a fuck. The only shark movie other than Spielberg that I even know about or I care about, Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Yes, you have got to see this.
I have heard that movie is just awesome.
It is. Yeah. They got LL Cool J, they got Samuel Jackson in it, they got in it. They got the guy who he's in the Thor movies as a scientist.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yes, Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah, they got the person who plays Tony Soprano's sister.
She's in it? Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's in it. Michael Rappaport, I think.
I've only seen one scene from that movie, and it's where Samuel Jackson just gives this epic speech where you're like, yeah.
Yep.
And then he gets like eaten 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
That alone is good enough for you to go and see the movie.
Oh my god, I gotta see this.
You have to.
But if they saw like, oh, Jaws is getting a remake, we would know.
Yeah, like, everybody would know.
Oh yeah.
I would not know that shit.
I probably wouldn't like it, but still.
But I didn't.
You did better than me because I would have. I was like, dumb bitch.
Honestly, like other than Jaws and Deep Blue Sea, like there are no other shark films that are gonna be as good as Jaws.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. It's like
because they started to overdo it, and then they started going over the top with it. I'm like the one with Jason Statham, Meg.
Yeah, the Meg.
I couldn't.
That one was stupid.
I tried to. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't even say, "Oh, the shark looks cool." No, just give me the prosthetic robotic shark from Jaws. That even though I know it's fake. I'm looking at. I know it's fake, but it still makes me shit my pants looking at that shit.
Yeah.
So when so the dickhead that leaked it and showed that the mechanics side of it before the movie came out. And it got the people worried, like, damn, they're not gonna buy into the realism of it. No, they did, because they stopped coming to the beach.
I think there's a funny little in-joke in Finding Nemo. The shark is called Bruce. Well, it just so happens the name of what their nickname for the mechanical shark in Jaws was Bruce.
I heard about that.
Also, apparently, it's an awful idea to film in the ocean. So, there you go.
Fish are friend, not food.
Yeah, I'll admit, though, that scene when he, goes fucking axe crazy because he gets a sniff of the blood. Oof.
That was scary.
Yeah, that freaked me out as a kid.
I remember shit my pants when I first saw it.
Like, just a bite. Like, what the fuck?
He's like, just a bite.
We switched. We went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah. He's like, he got the fight. He's like, sorry, mate. Bruce is a really nice guy. He's like banging into the.
When I first saw Finding Nemo, I was shit my pants at the part where he says, "Here's Brucey." But after I got older and saw The Shining, I was like, "There's a Shining reference."
They put a Shining reference in this movie. Respect.
Here's Brucey.
God, that's classic cinema.
Finding Nemo, my second favorite fish film.
I was about to say, yeah, Pixar and Steven Spielberg and Forrest Gump, that was my childhood right there.
Spielberg made my childhood. Robert Zemeckis did definitely. Sam Raimi.
Oh yeah.
My childhood was pretty much the Fox X-Men movies, Daredevil, Batman, horror movies, a lot of Disney, like Lion King and Aladdin. But also growing up, watching Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers and shit. My childhood was pretty awesome. I was very I was very versatile in what I watched because of my mother and I were so open. So you tend to open your mind up to a lot of different movies. That's how you find out. Oh, I like this. I like that. But like from age 7, specifically 7 to like 9, you can thank the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, the Fox X-Men movies, Daredevil, Blade, all that. As far as and the DC animated shows. Because my mother bought me, I'm not even joking, she bought everything that was Batman related that they was there to sell for me. And I'm mad that I don't have any of that crap now because it got lost over the years in storage. I don't have none of that shit now. I'm mad as fuck.
I made sure I keep all that stuff because those are prized possessions of mine. Old DVDs.
Oh, now? If I still have that now, like the only thing I have left of that is my Batman glass that they sold at McDonald's when Batman Forever came out. I still got it. It's to the point where now like I have to clean it with bleach to keep it clear because the cup is as old as me.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean I read Batman the Killing Joke when I was 10, so there you go.
But since you mentioned like the versatility, that's as Carlton, as you know, Carlton. That's one of the thing. That's the thing that really inspires me about Steven Spielberg is that how versatile he is. Like he's done almost every genre of film. Like Jaws, straight up a horror movie. I'm just gonna say it now. Then he made E.T., a family-friendly adventure. Indiana Jones, an adventure film. Saving Private Ryan, a war film. Like even if you're not like a big fan of Spielberg, you gotta respect that of him.
Yeah, Lincoln, which is a biography.
Yes. Another great
biography.
Lincoln's really good, yeah. Daniel Day-Lewis can't beat him. Hardly.
I was like, I feel just dumb for admitting this. Like the first 5 minutes of the movie, I didn't realize that was him.
No, that wasn't Daniel Day-Lewis. It was Lincoln resurrected.
I was like, what the fuck? Wait. Oh shit, that's Daniel Day. What the fuck? I recognize you with that high voice. My dude.
I thought it was Lincoln resurrected, but no.
I was like, the casting, I went back, like, there's a video on YouTube where they show you the people that they portrayed, the real photos of them, and that's why one of the big compliments was the casting was so spot on, because they studied the photos.
It was spot on.
They casted people that looked just like them. I'm like, it shows. It shows. You got Mary Shelley in there, playing Lincoln's wife. You like me. You really like me. Yeah. I mean, she was crazy in Lincoln, but hey, you know, she lost a child, so you kind of understand that.
Oh man, when she lost Lincoln, she fucking went insane.
Yeah.
After that one.
Oh, definitely getting Carlton out for Lincoln.
I studied Lincoln as a kid in school because history was my best subject in school. So of course I like Lincoln. And then when you hear that, oh yeah, Lincoln was a Republican back in the day, which a Republican back then is what a Democrat is now. But yeah, there was some advantages to not having slaves from an economic standpoint. But Lincoln also was like, I still despise the shit, and I want to get this done in my second term. So he abolished slavery. While dealing with the assassination threats, his wife going in and out of mental asylums, mourning the death of one of his kids, his oldest kid wanted to go into the war that he's trying to stop. That's why they made a joke in the end where he's like, you know, you're in your 40s or 50s, whatever, but you look like you're 70 years old. Yeah, that's what happens. Because you saw Obama when he first got elected, a handsome young black man gets out of office, looks like salt and pepper all in the hair.
Yep, literally.
I mean, being a president probably takes a lot out of you. I'm not.
That's stressful.
That's why I advocate for Bill Clinton getting his wee sucking office. Look, he's trying to release stress.
Exactly. So I don't blame him whatsoever.
While looking at John F. Kennedy's picture, like your Monica. I need my penis sucked from my 330. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. That bitch is lying.
But oh God, Jesus!
He sounded just like him too.
Oh God, I saw American Crime Story where they covered Bill Clinton's thing.
Oh yeah.
It just came to my mind. Oh Lord, God help me.
But Lincoln, like before I saw Lincoln, I didn't know how slavery ended. I've always questioned. But then I saw Lincoln, and I was like, oh, Abraham Lincoln with the 14th Amendment. That's how slavery ended. So it's actually an important film to me because I learned a lot about Lincoln, more than history class in school, because school sucked then.
Yeah, and they don't want to teach that now. But of course, they have a lot of people fighting that.
Yep.
They're like, no, you gonna keep slavery being taught in this bitch because they need to know.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of people were pissed off back then. Like, I saw Red Dead Redemption. I was playing the second game, and there's a cutscene in there. There's a guy that's drunk, sad. He's like, I need you to go back to my house that the bank bought because there's important paperwork in there. And on a mission, you go in there and you realize that they're ledgers keeping counts of the slaves he had. And then I realized, wait a minute, the year that we're in, slavery was just abolished. Oh, he lost everything because he didn't have his financial income from being a slave owner. Oh, fuck this dude.
Yeah, I shot the guy. I burned his shit and then I shot him. I'm like, fuck this guy.
I did too. But you know what the fun part is? When you shoot him, if he lands right, he'll land on the fire.
Oh yeah, he'll light on fire.
Makes it even more satisfying.
I was a little too happy. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little too happy. I was like, burn, you white bitch, on seasoned ass. I was like, yeah. I was getting way into it, but I was like, you know what, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Lincoln abolished slavery and then allowed the house to be full of black people for the first time in it, witnessing it. And then, of course, one of the people that was on the bill was secretly married to a black woman. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Spielberg, because you educated me when the school should have.
I think Williams also did Lincoln as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Like him and it's like Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer. They just like work together often.
Oh, he sure did Lincoln. Surprise.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, he did.
Who's another? Danny Elfman and Tim Burton work together a lot. Oh yeah, I forgot Edward Scissorhands. Fucking love that movie.
I wonder if Elfman is going to be in the new Addams Family thing Tim Burton is doing.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, he is.
He also did Batman the Animated Series theme. One of the greatest shows of all time. Oof, sir.
Wait, Danny did what?
Danny Elfman did the theme for Batman the Animated Series.
That was Shirley Walker.
Oh, it was?
That was Shirley Walker. She took from his theme and she expanded on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she did that, and she did the Superman animated series.
I was about to say Shelley Walker's great too. She did Mask of the Phantasm. Underrated as all get out Batman movie.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend, my YouTuber friend, about that. He said he's never seen it. I said, you'll like it. He's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how awesome is it? I said, it's about a 10. He's like, okay, I gotta see it then. I'm like, yeah, you do. It's sad. It's like for a children's animated movie, it's way more mature than you would think it would be.
Oh, absolutely. So damn good.
Oh gosh, so many options. So many options for us to do in the future.
Oh yeah, I know. But yes.
Batman film, yeah, Carlton.
Oh yeah, when we do the Batman watch-a-thon, God help us when that happens. But oh boy,
we need to do that. Like make it a day where we watch Batman films and we comment it as we're watching them.
Audio commentary, yes.
Yep. And as soon as we get to BVS, we gonna destroy you, Brit.
Oh boy.
I can't wait for that one. That's gonna be a fun one for sure. I'll just sit back and enjoy you guys.
It'll be me and Carlton arguing, and then like Jacob trying to like cut in. It's like a rumble in the jungle.
Oh no, I'm gonna take an old quote from the old Steppenwolf. I'm like, while you're watching BVS, you will love me. Even if it's by force, you will love this movie, motherfucker.
But yes,
do the Dark Knight trilogy, which now that one's gonna be different. This is gonna be me and Britton shitting on Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's probably going to be me and Carlton really getting angry at how dumb Batman is in The Dark Knight Rises.
Jesus.
Yeah, don't mind me. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Just,
jackasses. But anyway.
Look, you got mad on The Amazing Spider-Man, but that's nothing compared to what I have to say on Dark Knight Rises. It's not. I make you pale comparison because it's not that it's not okay. It's not that it's not good. It's just they do a lot of stuff in it that, one, doesn't make sense. Two, is kind of contradictory, and it's so frustrating. Like, as the storyteller in me, and then there's a guy that I follow on Facebook, Jassim. He points this out. He's like, how the fuck did they not know none of this shit was underneath Wayne Enterprises? How do they know to get back to Gotham from Tibet or wherever they were in time?
If I remember, I think Tate showed him where the nuclear device was.
No, they knew the nuclear devices, but how did they know that Batman's equipment was under Wayne Enterprises? Like, because when he beats Bane, whoops that ass, he blows it up. The Batmobile prototypes come down. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got your shit now."
Oh yeah. I'll save that for the Dark Knight Rises review.
What the fuck? Like, my father's work will be done. Dies horribly. Worst acted death. What the fuck?
Like, all right, that happened though. It's still good. It's like a 4-star for me, but there's some stuff I have issues with.
4-star out of what?
Out of 5.
Okay, because I'm like, out of 10, that's at least a 6.
Oh no! If I were going off, it'd be like a 7 out of 10 if we're talking.
I'm not gonna be that mean. I'll give it a 7. 7.5.
Solid 7 for me.
It's better than She-Hulk twerking.
Oh god, you see that the other day? I was like, I was more annoyed by the backlash than I was by the actual thing. But the actual thing, not fun.
Yeah, no. Someone put a video where she's dancing on the steps with Joker, Tobey Maguire's dancing.
Oh god.
I was like, I fucking hate the internet.
Bro, have you seen the Bully Maguire No Way Home trailer? Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh Jesus Christ, I'm scared.
They're in it's the Doctor Strange and it's the Doctor Strange Spider-Man fight, and then it's Toby doing the dance. It's so good on the train. It's great. I love it.
No good.
Or Bully Maguire in or Toby in Endgame. It's great.
Oh fuck me.
Since you brought up No Way Home, I not only did I see Jaws, I also saw No Way Home again for the 100th time.
Oh, the extended cut come out?
Yeah, and I will say, it's always great to see No Way Home in theaters again, and I still cheer every time, those scenes happen, and the audience does, apparently. Because when I went back and saw it, they were still clapping and cheering. No joke. But the extended cuts, why didn't you just release it on the Blu-ray? There wasn't, nah, I won't spoil it, but...
What if Spielberg did a superhero movie? I wonder what superhero he would do.
Oh, wow.
He seems like he would be willing to do it, because he's not like Scorsese, I love you, Marty, but... I mean, I love you, Marty, but you are blind if you genuinely don't seem to understand that the MCU is a cinematic achievement. But that's just my opinion, at the end of the day. Or at least Endgame is.
I don't know what Steven would do. I mean, whatever he does, I'm game for it. But... I don't know. He says... He literally could say, I want to do Guy Gardner, and I hate Guy Gardner. I'm game for it.
I was
I'd
actually
be down for it. As much as I hate Guy Gardner.
I was talking to a friend of mine who's a big Green Lantern fan, and I'm like, my buddy was, I got it mixed up with Kyle Rayner. I was talking to Carlton, I'm like, isn't it Kyle Rayner who you hate? And he's like, no, it's Guy Gardner. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. And I told him, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, he was kind of a dick. And I heard like Batman whooped his ass once. I'm like, oh, okay, you know.
Which good, yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah, I saw Guy Gardner. I'm like, wow, this dude is literally the redheaded stepchild of the Green Lanterns. Like, literally.
Yeah, fuck him.
He has red hair.
Fuck Guy Gardner.
You love Guy Gardner?
I said, fuck Guy Gardner.
Oh, I thought you said you love him. I thought you don't like Guy Gardner.
No, you know good damn well he didn't say that. All the shit we were talking about him
on Batman,
Snyder's Justice League,
on the Snyder cut, yeah.
I'd rather watch the movie 1,000 times than ever listen to Guy Gardner.
I'll admit I'm a Jon Stewart guy. Like he is like, yeah, it might just be my bias because I love the Bruce Timm, you know, Alan Burnett, Paul Dini, DC animated universe, but I love Jon Stewart.
He's my favorite, but yeah, I'm biased as well because the Justice League animated series.
I don't know about you, Carlton, but you know, Jon Stewart. Hell yeah.
I like Jon Stewart. If I had to say which one was my favorite, it's a tie between him, John, Howell, and Kyle. Because Kyle's kind of underrated for me. I feel like he doesn't get a lot of attention, even though he's done some really cool things.
Or he's kind of the Spider-Man of the Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
Which intrigues me, because as you know, Carlton, I freaking love Spider-Man. And you do, too.
Of course, you know, except when you have, you know...
Yeah, don't mention me.
And Jacob. I think Jacob might love Spider-Man more than me. And that says a lot.
Yeah. That's why I got offended when Carlton never mentions me on Facebook or tags me whenever he mentions Spider-Man. So, I'm still salty about that.
I show you in the messages. I show you privately.
You know, did you
but
guys...
You don't freak out like Britton does when Peter is getting all these bitches.
It's not really I'm freaking out. It's more I'm confused. How does he do it?
No, your brain goes into self-destruct mode.
Yeah, I have like a blue screen of death. I'm like, how does he do it? Oh, yes. What do you guys think about the Spider-Man Lotus thing? Did you guys...
Oh, boy.
Did you guys see anything about that?
Yeah, I saw the video that they released on the special effects.
Oh my god, the VFX looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. I was like, damn, that's sad. This is like movie quality, and the director and the
this is so good.
The director and actor decided to be racist idiots, and they've ruined the movie now. It's like, oh, why?
And the director came out with an apology video, and the fact that so many people were accepting of it, I'm like, y'all have to be white.
Yeah.
Y'all have to be.
I'd be shocked if you were. I'd be shocked if you weren't white because.
Like you knew right from wrong. Like if Jacob went and said, well, see, Jacob's like half black, so he gets a pass. But if Britton said that shit, privately, me and Jacob have to be like, look, we love you, bro, but you know you fucked up, right? Like, when they tell you on social media, we can't say nothing. You just basically have to take it.
Well, I am not saying the N-word publicly, so that's it.
Well, I know.
I'm not an idiot. You think I'm an idiot? No, I'm not going to be... You want me to get blasted? Like, no. Also, it's wrong, so, you know.
You're smart enough not to... First of all, you're smart enough not to say it at all. But you're damn sure smart enough to not say that and it be on Twitter.
Twitter, when I'm trying to make a movie.
Twitter, where your career can die.
But yeah, it's just like, good lord. It's so bad. It's just...
I was excited for it.
I know.
It was phenomenal. The trailer was awesome. And then the director posted up this racist tweet. I'm like, okay, no, I'm not looking forward to it. I don't want to support this person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on Twitter and I saw like a Captain America fan movie and I was like, I was joking. I was like, oh man, be ashamed if something happened to it. And then Carlton replies like, fuck you! And I'm like, start busting out laughing.
I want to support the people who worked on it, but unfortunately that would mean that I would have to support the dick bag.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fucked up part. It's like, I don't read anything from, like, I don't want to support Jeff Johns, But the artists that he's worked with, I want to support them. So I got Justice League, I got Flashpoint, I got DC Universe Rebirth. So it's like,
I'm gonna read his
oh,
Green Lantern. I've heard that's really
well,
good.
I would too. But Ethan Van, whatever his name is, he's on the conservative side, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's kind of a douche. I actually got into a Twitter beef with him once.
Oh God.
Kind of proud of
Oh,
that.
Wait, did I tell you and Jacob about my thing with Rob Liefeld?
I saw it, but I saw it. I remember we talked about it a little bit.
Wait, I didn't tell Jacob?
No, you didn't tell me.
Oh shit. Okay, well, what had happened was he was commenting on Black Adam.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that, he was talking shit about Black Adam, how he's not an established character enough for people to care, and because of The Rock, and blah, 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 blah. But even his own followers were like, pointing out, bruh, he's been in this, he's been in that, he's been in this. He's very significant. It's not like he's a nobody. People know who he is. But he was being a shit talker. Then I pointed out, I said, one, shut the fuck up. Nobody asked your opinion. Two, your art sucks. Three,
It truly does.
what made you think we cared enough of your opinion for you to tweet this? And I got more likes on my tweet than he did on his post. I haven't heard anything back from him. That was almost about a month ago.
Oh, wow.
But I kind of snapped because I'm like, you talking shit about something you don't know. Like, don't you realize you are the person that they use as example on what not to do when drawing? Your women look like the worm things from Men in Black.
They truly do. They look horrible. Horrible.
All ripped out and weird looking and stringly looking. But none of them got. You got Captain America's chest sticking out about 5 feet. It's just, you are the redheaded. You're not even the redheaded stepchild. You're the retarded uncle that they keep in the secret room in the back, that they keep away from the kids. That's what your artwork is to the community.
Yeah, it's a disgrace.
So I said that, and I had to tell Britton about it because Britton has gotten into a beef with Dan Slott.
Oh, man, Britton.
Yeah, no, it wasn't really a beef. It was more like I said, hey, I think Chip Zdarsky would write a better Fantastic Four than you, and I guess he didn't like that because he blocked me on Twitter. Still am, by the way.
I blocked him when he was talking shit about Zack Snyder, saying that I've written Batman before and he doesn't understand the character. I said, motherfucker, you don't understand anything that's not a tweet. Shut the fuck up. And he said something back. I said something to him, and I blocked him. Like, no one asked your opinion about nothing. If you spent half the energy you do on your tweets and your stories, you wouldn't, one, need some. Marvel wouldn't have to assign a co-writer with you to make sure it gets out on time. B, that you're focused. C, that the story actually makes sense. Because when you're left to do things on your own, you get a shitty-ass 10-year run on Spider-Man, and you get a shitty-ass Iron Man 2020 book that nobody asked for.
Yep.
Oh, and then your Fantastic Four, honestly, makes the movie look better comparison to your writing.
I don't know.
Oh, it's shitty. It's shitty. Yeah.
If you're saying it's worse than Fan 4 Stick, then that's saying a lot.
Yeah. Pretty much. But his arrogance of, like, he knows better. Like, when he was on Spider-Man, he said, he's never getting back with Mary Jane. It's never going to happen. They're never going to get back together. I'm like, you don't have any control over that. No. If the editors told you that this was going to happen, it's going to happen. And when you got off the book, guess what happened? Your liberal best friend, Nick Spencer, the man who made Captain America a hybrid agent, undid One More Day in a matter of less than 30 issues.
One of the worst Spider-Man issues ever made. Just saying.
Oh, it's...
Yeah,
I hate One More Day.
That made, what's his name? Straczynski? I can never say his name right.
Straczynski. Apparently he was so mad, like he dropped off he was just like, this is stupid. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
It was 4 issues long. He only did 3. So Joe Quesada, who was really pushing this and was the one drawing the book,
he wrote the fourth one and just credited Straczynski and did it. That's why I don't trust Joe Quesada, because he did that and he did a shitty ass story about Iron Man's armor coming to life and like being in love with him. Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's a thing as a shitty idea. I think there is an idea of shitty execution. I mean, we say it all the time on the on the show. So there you
Joe,
we're making merch out of that.
Joe has shitty ass both. Because because he made Whiplash look like a sexism, badism type character, like gimp
Like,
outfit.
what the fuck were they doing? Yeah. The fuck were you thinking with that shit?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie Whiplash. I'm like, don't talk shit. I will fight over that movie.
What?
No, not the movie.
I'm like, I will start a fight over that movie. Like,
Iron Man villain.
Iron Man 2, I've never understood the hate. I mean, I understand that it probably didn't meet your expectation, but I've always liked Iron Man 2. I don't give a fuck what people say. But at least in that one, he was actually badass.
He was.
Whiplash, in the story of that Joe did, no, he sucked ass.
Yeah. Not only did he suck ass, he looked fucking horrible.
Yeah, he looked like a dominatrix. I swear to God.
He literally did.
And like,
And I've heard people shit on Whiplash's design Iron Man 2. Like, no. The one in the comics, far worse.
yeah.
I say it's far worse, even though...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay. Like I said, I hate to be that kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I could do better. I could write better than Slott. It's not a matter of, I think I can. No, I can. I can.
Have you seen that documentary they did about him?
But Bendis does not pay attention to continuity, and that pisses me off. Or he forces characters down my throat that we need more time with, like that Naomi chick. She sucks so bad. She got canceled after one season. Because they tried to make a show out of her. I'm like, no. She hasn't even been in the comic books a year. And already she's on the Justice League? No.
Like,
and
no.
ain't nothing. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't rush that shit.
Yeah, and he did that with Riri. You would think he would have learned. That's why we didn't give a fuck about her. Because this was post-Civil War II, that story. Where Space Karen was off her rocker.
Yep.
And it's like, no, but you're going to arrest people? Like, why? Like, because there was an Inhuman that could tell possible futures. They weren't solid. They were just possibilities. And she's like, we're going to arrest them before they do a crime. Bitch, are you a Republican?
Because you're sounding like one, all right?
That's not how we do things, Space Karen. No. And also, you're salty because Rhodey died. They were smashing at the time. Even Black Panther was like, my ancestors, please help me not throw up on my mask. Really, he says that in the story. Oh, God. Just goddamn. Oh. So it was that. E.T. came out. Spider-Man extended stuff came out. Apparently
Jizz in my pants again. Jizz in my pants again.
Yeah, Chadwick won an Emmy for his last performance as Black Panther in What
R.I.P. Wakanda Forever.
And Bombay.
Indeed. I'll admit, I saw the trailer for the new Black Panther movie, and I was like, all right, I'm sold.
Yeah, I had to. You know how hard it was to sell that shit to Brit and Jacob.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my God! Like, you ever seen Wolf of Wall Street, where he's like, "Sell me this pen"? That's what it felt like. Trying to sell Britain.
Literally.
It's like, I don't know about Cherie taking on the role. Cherie can. And people still, literally, I kid you not. People are saying, I don't think that's Cherie. That's M'Baku. M'Baku is a thick motherfucker.
Yeah. Did you see that last shot? Like, that is Shuri.
That's
She's
Cherie.
a big motherfucker. Like,
you can say, well, maybe that's the other girl. No, because the other girl.
Slow down, buddy. It's snack time, not Black Friday. Nobody's walking out of here with the first Wild's Club on Blu-ray, okay?
yeah.
Nice as that sounds. I heard there's a special.
I was like, why are you playing? I was playing Family Guy. What the fuck?
I don't know what that was. I was like, the fuck? No.
Yeah, what just happened?
No, someone sent me a message and it opened up for some reason, and that was a clip that they had. But that scared the shit out of me because it was like right in my ear. What was I saying? But yeah, the other girl, she's thicker than Cherie.
Wait,
And yeah, the girl that Black Panther fell in love with. I can't remember her name. That from the first movie.
know the actor's name, Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah, I feel bad. I can never say her damn name. It's so
Yeah.
complicated. It's like a math test, but you know who I'm talking about, damn it.
Yeah, the girl from the actress from Us.
Yeah, which I
There you
love. Yeah, it's Cherie. And also, story-wise, that's the one that makes sense. She's next in line to become Black Panther.
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
I was just afraid it was going to become a giant debacle because, fucking Chadwick died. What are you going to do, But hey, it looks like it's going to be good. So I could be...
Yeah.
I'm like, I am sold on seeing it. So, there you go.
And I know people are like, well, you should just recast it. No, because if they did that, y'all would have bitched about that too.
Yeah.
They'd be like, why would you recast Chadwick?
Chadwick's a
Yeah.
king,
Stop making it woke, just putting a female in there. How about y'all read the comics where she actually took on the mantle? How about that?
Yeah.
Even a guy who writes Namor comics criticized the actor's physique in that and showed a bare naked ass picture of himself on what he should look like physique-wise. And I'm just like, bruh, I didn't need to see your chappy white ass on Instagram today.
No. Jesus.
I'm like, you don't even have a tan. At least the actor got a tan. You just pale. Oh, God.
Exactly. Nobody wants to see that shit,
Like-
especially in a superhero film.
Like, when you see white blinds and the sun is on it, and so you can tell the difference in the color.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know pale could have a tan line.
No.
That's what the dude looks like. I'm like, I mean, he deleted the post, but still, I saw it already.
I mean, in some other news, we got some new casting. Apparently, we got some rumors of some new casting. We got a bunch of heavyweights. John Krasinski, thank God. I really hope he comes back as Mr. Fantastic, because if they just used him as a one and done for Multiverse of Madness, I will be a little triggered at Kevin Feige. We also got rumors of Giancarlo Esposito, John Boyega, and our boy Denzel Washington. Which, oh boy, that's surprising.
It's fake.
I'm shocked.
Denzel's fake?
Yeah, the whole thing is fake. I know what you're talking about. I've been saying the last couple of days, and people are blowing out of proportion. It's fake.
Oh, it's fake?
There's no
Damn it.
There's no confirmation for it. Because I already knew it was gonna be fake, but I definitely knew it was gonna be fake when they put Henry Cavill's name on there. Like,
Yeah.
I've heard rumors about Henry Cavill. I'm like, ooh, boy.
They're not gonna play Hyperion when he's already Superman, which
Yeah.
Hyperion is a copycat of.
That's when I knew it was fake. I'm like, no, he's already playing Superman.
I thought he'd play like Captain Britain. Another version of
No.
that.
No, because he's not. I know there are people that are saying that too. He's not going to Marvel. He's already
No.
done. I know people are like, well, we don't know yet. No, he filmed an additional scene for Black Adam. Now, of course, are they going to tell you that? No, because they're trying to keep it a surprise.
Yeah.
But like, he was in L.A. That's when people thought, oh, he's going to be at Comic-Con because we see him in L.A. No, he was there to do the additional photography for Black Adam at the time. And The Flash has been doing additional photography since May because they're trying to put in with the timeline of Snyder, and it's been screening so well, it's having the same scores as the Dark Knight trilogy. So I know people are like, well, what about the whole Ezra thing? You guys, I've shown you guys privately the whole Ezra drama.
Oh, yeah.
The debunked rumors, the accusations, which the stalker is still talking crap on Twitter, trying to get Ezra to kill, because he's non-binary, kill themselves. They're not going to, obviously, but in screenshots that Ezra has that's made online, Ezra has more video that we haven't seen yet of the incidents that his lawyer has advised them to hold on to until a certain point. if Warner Brothers has already come out publicly saying that they're not going to recast him and they don't believe him because they know it's lies, you would think the hoe would learn.
But nope.
But she's stalking him and saying all this because, and I'm not kidding, brace yourself, because she's accusing Ezra of stealing her style. Yeah,
Like,
stealing the style of a nobody. I don't understand. But I'm glad that they're not taking that serious. They're like, no, Ezra's fine. Ezra didn't do anything where they need to be fired. He talked to the new regime, the new people that are there, and they had a positive meeting about him staying. And he's still doing stuff for his Flash. Ben Affleck, he's going to reportedly do an additional scene for Flash to touch up on. So, the fact that Aquaman has not been delayed, Aquaman was supposed to come out before the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
And people were saying, well, Flash is going to be Ben Affleck's last one. Nope, because they put Aquaman after it.
Yep.
I can smell it a mile away. Ben and are basically back.
And of course, the Ayer cut. And Will Smith has posted an Instagram video, and he has the shaved head and the beard, which the style that he looked in the Suicide Squad. I was like, this is a big sign.
Yeah, that one, and because the actress Carla, I can't remember her last name, she was doing a photo shoot, but she's been hanging around with Margot Robbie lately around LA. DC, Warner Bros. Has an untitled project that's supposed to drop in February.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows what it is. And I'm like, and I know in November they're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Warner Bros. Discovery is doing some sort of like thing where they're going to talk about their future of their movies and stuff.
Heard they canceled Fandom this year.
Yeah, that's why they canceled that because of what they're doing in November. Because they want to do more in-person events.
Right.
I know a lot of people were bitching about that, but I'm like, DC Fandom wasn't necessary. It was a thing that they had. They can still do it later. They just probably were like, no, right now we want to focus on doing other stuff. Calm down, y'all be all right. Because I guarantee you, compared to all the other stuff that they are going to bring us, y'all won't be mad at DC Fandom much longer. Because if Superman is in Black Adam, which I'm pretty sure he is, all will be forgiven very easily. Because I guarantee you, if Superman pops up, they go like, okay, I trust y'all. Oh, Ben Affleck is back? Okay, I trust y'all. Wonder Woman has a bigger role in Shazam 2 than a dream sequence. She actually is going to be fighting. Okay, I trust y'all.
Okay, Ayer cut announcement. Okay.
And also, they delayed Aquaman 2 a little bit because they're going to replace, reportedly, Amber Heard's scenes. Which, if that's the case, I'm not going to be surprised because we kind of knew that was coming.
No, and the director, James Wan, unfollowed her Instagram, and Jason Momoa did apparently, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah. Bring in Emilia Clarke to be the new...
Please do.
Because it's going to be... And they do that, you know Game of Thrones people are going to be like, and they have returned to each other.
Yes, because they were both in Game of Thrones, and they would have amazing chemistry.
And she said all this ever since, after that, even after he wasn't in the show anymore, you know, he would check up on her, and he was just full of life and full of just positive energy. I'm like, see, I like hearing that. Yeah, when you have two people that care about each other like that, the chemistry is going to show on screen.
Yeah, because even they came out and said Jason Momoa and Amber Heard's chemistry was horrible when they were shooting Aquaman 2, and that's why they're just completely cutting scenes out of that.
Especially
just removing Amber Heard from that movie.
Mm-hmm. Especially if she only has 10 minutes in it. Like, okay, what's the point?
Yeah.
Without you.
She's not in the movie. Well, let's recast you.
And what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I don't think I showed Jacob. I showed Britton this, I think. But Warner Bros. Discovery has... Snyder has tweaked his storyboards for Justice League 2 and 3.
Oh, yeah, you show me that.
Okay, I showed you. I didn't show Britton this. Yeah, I gotta talk to Britton about this later. But yeah, he basically showed them the storyboards on how they can still do the story, but it's more tailored to their 10-year plan. Essentially, it's pretty much going to be the same as before, but of course, a few things were changed or tweaked or whatever. Like Orm being in a prison in the desert or whatever, that was going to be in it, but James Wan asked to do that in Aquaman 2, and Snyder said yeah. Wonder Woman 3 is going to be tweaked and is going to be in the line of what he wanted to do, which basically he wanted to have her kind of go back to Themyscira and be on her way to become the new queen, and that was going to carry over to the Justice League movies, which I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. Oh, Patty Jenkins. I know Patty Jenkins she got a lot of shit for Wonder Woman 1984, but I blame Jeff Johns for that.
Yeah, it wasn't her fault.
Yeah, he rewrote a lot of shit, and I was like, I can smell the Reeve shit of Superman in this movie. I can smell it.
Yeah.
Only things that I liked about it, ironically, Patty was the one that did it. Like her decision to make Wonder Woman fly, that was her, and she wanted to use A Beautiful Lie from BVS. Zach was like, yeah, cool, yeah, you can use it. I was like, yeah, I like that shit a lot. So, a lot of new things coming in DC.
Yeah.
A lot of things in general, in movies in general, are coming out. But so, once they did E.T., 40th anniversary, they did the release of Spider-Man. If they do a release, they did a release of Jaws. If they do a reboot of Jaws, I'm pretty sure, I can guarantee, I will break the news first. Jacob will break the news to me and Brit first. But like, yo, what were we just talking about? Oh.
Yep, guaranteed to be shit because it's a remake.
Unless Steven is involved.
Yeah, if he's involved, then maybe. But we'll get Psycho. We'll get like a Psycho remake, which.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, well, he did Ready Player One. That was another one he surprised me with. So he's up to date with stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if he found.
I thought it was kind of ironic he made Ready Player One, because Ready Player One almost seemed like a okay rehash of the stuff he was doing in the 80s.
Yeah.
With a sprig of the Matrix, to keep things spicy.
God, I can't wait until we joan on you for the Matrix.
Yep.
You really can't stand that I hate I don't like the Matrix movies. I'm sorry, I don't.
It bothers my soul, Brit. It just can't.
There's great action, but like, you know what? I'll let you guys bully me, but I'm just saying. No. A lot of people have bullied me over it, so I'm fine with it. But it's like, come on.
Yeah, you deserve it. Sorry, but you deserve it. I can't. Like, I almost disowned you for it.
I'll let Carlton bully you for any Snyder shit. That'll be fun.
Anyway.
What? I liked it. Yeah, that's the problem. You just like the Snyder Cut. No, one does not just like it. They love it, motherfucker.
It's just like, okay, you know what? Fine.
Tell me, do you bleed?
Yes, I do.
You certainly will.
I do, yeah. Though if he did make a Dragon Ball film, I would probably see that, because he seems to get that pretty well.
I'll be low key mad because I want to make one.
Though Tyke sent me one where Man of Steel was literally an anime, and I'd be like, God, he needs to make a live action anime. It'll be great.
I can't wait for his Norse God anime that he's working on. That's gonna be awesome.
I mean, I told Carlton this, but I would love to see Snyder do like more animated like movies, because he did one called Legends of the Ghoul that I told Carlton. I asked him, have you seen it? And he's like, no, I have not, but I want to though.
I need to. The minute I see it, I'm gonna tell Jake. I'm like, I'm getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to dive in.
Yes, because I remember, like, of course, from Snyder, the animation and the visuals, fucking phenomenal.
And I was like, I don't know how this snuck by me. Like, Sucker Punch almost went by me. I noticed. This one went by me completely. I'm like, I didn't know he did anything animated. I need to check it, because if there's anything that involves visualness, Snyder's going to make it his own.
Yep.
So like, I gotta see it. At some point, I will see it. I will tell Jake about it. Like, yeah, I did this.
You
I'm pretty sure I'll
definitely
like it.
should.
I'm sure
Like,
I'll like it.
Snyder, if you ever watch this, do more animated shit. Because I would love to see that.
Definitely. Do more animated shit. Do more originals pieces. Because like Army of the Dead was a lot of fun. Fuck
Now,
me up.
forcing Brit to see that.
Because I hate seeing zombies that run. Because that fucks with me. But hey,
You don't like zombies that run?
no.
So, thanks, Snyder.
Look, I think I've told you this before. When I saw Dawn of the Dead back in 2004, that was his directorial debut as a movie director. He had done commercials and music videos before that, but this was his first movie. The first time I saw a zombie sprint, nigga, my heart dropped into my butthole.
Yeah, no, those trailers freaked me out when I was younger. Oof.
I was like, what the fuck? No, because I'm used to zombies doing that whole slow, you know. If he can run, Jesus, take the wheel. I quit. I can't, no, because that was the one advantage I had, you took away. The fucking, and then in Army of the Dead, they evolve. They can duck.
I'm like, my
maneuvers.
God. Like, my dude, Snyder, you trying to give me a heart attack?
Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, the zombie running? That fucked you up? Surprise, motherfucker. And I put a zombie tiger in this bitch.
But hey, Army of the Dead was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed watching it.
It was. I loved it. There's a thing that Netflix did. It was like a 4-part thing where they showed you the behind the scenes stuff.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Yeah. The fact that he said, hey, he was like telling the actors who had the light, aim your light towards my shirt. They said, why? I said, because it's going to reflect a certain light, a lighting trick. It's going to come back and hit you guys a certain way on film. And I remember seeing that. I was like, wait, that's how the fuck he did it? That's some ingenuity shit right there.
Hell yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly how he did it.
Anyway. So, I think we're getting towards the end here. I have my movie for next week. It is another childhood favorite of mine and Jacob's, I hope.
What is it?
The best Fantastic Four movie never made. The Incredibles.
Yes! Honestly, that was unexpected. I did not expect you to choose Incredibles,
Right.
but hey, I'm happy you are.
I was like, where's he going with this shit?
I was like, he better not choose Fan Four Stick, because when he brought up Fantastic Four,
I had a feeling you were going to go, no.
Well, look, when he said that has never been made, I was like, huh? Because I'm thinking he's thinking of the 90s one.
mm-hmm.
Oh, no. I haven't even seen that. I've heard it's horrible, though.
But in a funny way, though.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I've heard it's a hilariosity. Yeah.
You know, it's better than, like, the 2015 one. But when you said the one never made, The Incredibles, I was like, oh, thank God.
I was like, thank God it's not Fan Four Stick.
I was actually thinking about just letting it hang there so Jacob would just have, like, an inner stroke, thinking I was going to drop a Fant 4 stick on him, but no, it's The Incredibles.
Thank goodness. But yes, Incredibles, yes.
I was like,
The Watchmen for Children, Incredibles.
Yes.
that's kind of far-fetched, but
I
okay.
mean, that is probably far-fetched, but yeah.
All right.
I don't see Mr. Incredibles and Elastigirl banging to Hallelujah.
Yo, Elastigirl though, but I'll thirst about that next week, and also it gives me an excuse to watch The Incredibles again. So it's probably on Disney Plus. I'm sure. I hope.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is awesome. Like, please,
Yeah,
please.
people, when they drop, you're like, I gotta see Elastigirl and her thickums. Yeah. Disney has no business making their women as thick, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know, it's great.
Like, thank you, Brad Bird.
It's
But
so
you-
weird. He does the voice of the short girl. That is so trippy to me still.
I know. When I saw that Brad Bird voiced Edna, I'm like, what?
What? Yeah, no, it throws you off, doesn't it? She reminds me of my grandma, except my grandmother does not talk like that. But she looks a lot like my grandma.
Ass little walking ass. No capes. remember what happened to the other hero. I'm like, okay.
I'll admit, a lot of the shit in that movie flew over my head until I was older, and then I'm like, oh, dude, I get what she's saying now.
Oh yeah, that happens when you get older.
It's like
I
the
was
Toy
like,
Story movies, Finding Nemo, everything. Just all the movies you watch as a kid.
I was watching Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, no.
And but look,
Don't laugh. It's a great show.
No. I mean, no, it's a great show. It's just, I always laugh.
But like, I was watching an episode where the girl was asking about how the girls were created, and the professor was like, "Oh yeah, why they were created by accident in the lab." She says, "Oh, my parents says I was an accident." I was like, I didn't get that as a kid. I was like, "Oh shit, she's an oops baby." Oh, how the fuck that? That flew way over my head. Like, trying to make a reference like that now, parents would get all in an uproar.
There are a lot of like adult jokes that completely flew over my head. Like Toy Story, for example, Buzz Lightyear, or the word I'm searching for, I can't say because there's preschool toys present. I'm like, I didn't notice that.
Oh, when SpongeBob and Patrick are cussing.
Yeah.
Like Krabs is and like as an adult, you can imagine what they're saying. Krabs is a cheap motherfucker.
Anyways.
They're playing the board game. Eels, God, motherfucker.
But anyways, yeah, we're going to be talking about The Incredibles next week, because why not? I love The Incredibles. It's one of my favorite films of all time. Probably my favorite Pixar film. Hell, it is my favorite Pixar film.
It is mine too.
It's in my top 5 as far as Pixar. If we're talking about like Pixar, Bug's Life is a little bit higher up there for me.
Oh, really?
But The Incredibles still needs to be in my top 5, just on the super suit meme alone.
Oh, yes. But yeah, I'm excited. I was like, do I want to do The Incredibles? But I'm like, fuck it, let's do The Incredibles. I want an excuse to see it again.
Yes.
So
I can't wait. So, I said I wanted to do the outro. So, Brit, you don't mind?
Yeah, okay. No, go right ahead.
Yes, this is yet another episode of Brit and Jacob Go the Movies. Carlton, as always, thanks so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
And we definitely plan on bringing you back on here again because you're our unofficial third member. We're gonna make that our merch too, Britton.
Yeah.
Unofficial third member, Carlton Bacon.
We'll get his animated get his profile picture on there.
Oh, I was hoping for ET, but.
Oh yeah.
The ET picture on
there. This is why I don't tag you in Spider-Man shit, you motherfucker.
Oh, I'm still salty about that. I just contained my anger.
Oh, I still love you.
Oh, I love you too. But, anyways, I have been Jacob. Britton.
Oh, I'm Britton.
I've been Jacob.
Oh, I've been Britton.
Hail.
Sorry, I blanked for a second.
And what is it they always say, Britton?
We always do it for the love of the movies.
Yes, we do.
Hell yeah.